Yes, Wagwan people, this is Silent Warriors. Yes, Impress Copper Fox alongside the presenter, Lakota Empire. Two special guests, maybe a three, make another person, make a third person. So you have three special guests, right? You got Professor Hotstep on the platform. You got Radames on the platform. Shortly, be joining with us will be Yamasi. And yes, this is Scientia S clavis part 2. Knowledge is the key. Yes. So what we're gonna do, Empress what's gonna come in and say what you gotta say. My brothers come in, say what they gotta say, and then we run the songs and then get down to show business. So big up everybody coming through. Blue, big up yourself, big up everybody coming through, and Fox.
Yeah, honor and gratitude to y'all and myself, my brothers on the panel for joining me. As you say, we got Rada in the building. Y'all gonna learn today. We supposed to have another special guest. Y'all sees, you already know that go. We got Professor in the building and we got Loco.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The bad Indian.
Mud Indian. Okay, so yeah.
All right, people. So you know the code already. It's 3 songs, 3 shots, and yes, the first song we'll be kicking it off will be Sizzler Take Myself Away. I'll repeat. The song is called Sizzler Take Myself Away. And yes, people, enjoy. Sit back, get your refreshments, get your pen and pad ready for take notes. Please do save the live stream when it's done. Download it and put it in your archives or your extendable, expendable storage. But yes, as I said, pick up everybody. Tuli, pick up yourself. DA, DB, pick up yourself. And yes, Sizzler, take myself away by Sizzler. Let's get it.
You're still taking what's not yours. Greedy though you got more. Switching on me now, snitching on me now. Picking up dirty attitudes. What's your future then? I'm not sure. Now you lurk on every corner, trying to make $1 from them quarters. So to were my friend, even helping and prove to be my enemy. You can't even trust anyone. I've got to take myself away from all these things that hurting me. I've got to make my life so free. Seems you don't want nothing good for real. I've got to take myself away from all these things that hurting me. I've got to make my life so free. Seems you don't want nothing good for real. I waste no time on you, not behaving yourself up in a crime on you. Now there's a final you. Now tell me what you can do. Willing to have to one you deceive. Stupid things I do, I just can't believe. Seems you don't know what you really need. Take you, remember like your it sounds sweet. I was there to motivate you. Seems you don't appreciate it. What is it that generate you to do the bad things I do? I really hate it. I've got to take myself away from all these things that's hurting me. I've got to make my life so free. Seems you don't want nothing good for real. I've got to take myself away from all these things that's hurting me. I've got to make my life so free. Seems you don't want yourself good for real. The world is getting dangerous. Sickness and disease are very contagious. All these bad things happening just time for us. To help us out, can you pray for us? I've got You're still taking what's not yours. Greedy though you got more. Switching on me now, snitching on me now. Picking up dirty attitudes. What's your future then? I'm not sure. Now you lurk on every corner, trying to make $1 from them quarters. Thought you were my friend, even helping and prove to be my enemy. You can't even trust anyone. I've got to take myself away that's hurting me. I've got to make my life so free. Seems you don't want nothing good for real. I've got to take myself away from all these things that's hurting me. I've got to make my life so free. Seems you don't want nothing good for real. Waste no time on you, not behaving yourself up in the crime on you. Now there's a fine in you. Now tell me what you gonna do. Willing to open it to one you deceive. Stupid things I do, I just can't believe. Seems you don't know what you really need. Take it, remember like your is it sounds sweet. I was there to motivate you. Seems you don't appreciate it. What is it just generate you to do the bad things I do? I really hate it. I've got to take myself away from all these things that's hurting me. I've got to make my life so free. Seems you don't want nothing good for real. I've got to take myself away from all these things that's hurting me. I've got to make my life so free. Seems you don't want yourself good for real. The world is getting dangerous. Sickness and disease are very contagious. All these bad things happening just time for us. To help us out, can you pray for us? I've got to protect my life. I've got to love myself. My heart cries within me. Love and respect, that's what you should be giving me. When you hate each other, you don't know what you're doing to me. If I allow this corruption, it's only ruining me. I've got to take myself away from all these things that's hurting me. I've got to make my life so free. Seems you don't want nothing good for real. I've got to take myself away from all these things that's hurting me. I've got to make my life so free. Seems you don't want nothing good for real. I was there to motivate you. Seems you don't appreciate it. What is it that generate you to do the bad things I do? I really hate it. I've got to take myself away from all these things that's hurting me. I've got to make my life so free. Seems you don't want nothing good for real. I've got to take myself away from all these things that's hurting me. I've got to make my life so free. Seems you don't want nothing good for real. I've got to take myself away from all these things that's hurting me. I've got to make my life so free. Seems you don't want nothing good for real.
Yes, people, that was Sizzler, Take Myself Away. Yes, once again, that was Sizzler, Take Myself Away. And for the next shot or the next song we played, we got everybody coming through now. Hold on, give me a second, 1 second, viewers. Yeah, big up everybody in the live chat, big up everybody coming through, big up everybody, the silent listeners, new subscribers, old subscribers, IG supporters, big up everybody, you know. And thank you for tuning in to Empress Copper Fox, Silent Warriors, yeah man, alongside myself and Radamez and Professor Hotstep, and shortly to be joining us will be Yamasi. But for the second shot, let's get down to business. It's going to be okay, another Sizzler, wicked. Demo Wonder by Sizzler. Just give me 60 seconds. And then you run into the next tune, which will be Sizzler, Demo Wonder. And then we got one more song after that. And then, you know, kick off. Yeah, man. The Americans kick off football. Lily, pick up yourself. So this song I'm playing now is Sizzler, Demo Wonder. Let's get it.
And there is no time and no place for your reason. Junkies watch your thoughts, they manifest activities of your thinking. And we thank you for being a part of my life. Them I wonder how we do this, them grow with hate and hunger. Future profit, but as my laps get longer, hidden heart it a twist. No spread no propaganda, cause you can't stop this. Now them I wonder how they get to you just live and grow with hate and hunger. With the profit, but as we laps get longer, hidden heart it a knit. When I beg no feel no sponsor, so no can't stop this. Just say no about me, yes, and some in our business. I this happy every lesson. This you have to do, no man, no better than you. And now we are run to crew. We're coming on 2002. They stand against you and hating me. Them just can't go through them heart, nothing nor free. I remind them so much of who they are supposed to be. I'm a royalty. Them lost them identity. Now them a wonder how we do this. Them go with hate and hunger. Future profits, but as we lack to get longer, hidden heart it's a twist. No find no propaganda, cause you can't stop this. And there is no time and no place for your reason. Junkies watch your thoughts, they manifest activities of your thinking. And we thank you for being a part of my life. Them I wonder how we do this, them grow with hate and hunger. Future profit, but as my laps get longer, hidden heart it a twist. No spread no propaganda, cause you can't stop this. Now them I wonder how they get to you just live and grow with hate and hunger. With the profit, but as we laps get longer, hidden heart it a knit. When I beg no feel no sponsor, so no can't stop this. Just say no about me, yes, and some in our business. I hold this happy every lesson. This you have to do, no man, no better than you. And now we are run to crew. We're coming on 2002. They stand against you and hating me. Them just can't go through them heart, nothing nor free. I remind them so much of who they are supposed to be. I'm a royalty. Them lost them identity. Now them I wonder how we do this. Them go with hate and hunger. Future profits, but as we lack to get longer, hidden heart it a twist. No find no propaganda, cause you can't stop this. Every man for their own. The fox and rain is down where the crown. Ooh, get off your pants and price the door. Why you are behind, this is the Rasta man. This is the Rasta man song. We are new to criticism. We know that God will face the challenge and harness the power of love. Now I see you want us to be like a rope. That's where we can be saturated with all the mud. But now them I wonder how we do this thing. Going hate and hunger. Future profits, but as we love still longer, hidden heart it a twist. The spread the propaganda, cause you can't stop. No, them all a ponder. How the youths are slick. How we don't let hunger. This the people, but as we love get longer, hidden heart it a twist. Now begging no finger sponsor, so no can't stop. It is the portion of life. Most naturally it is nature. And if you know right, me say you can't stay about you. Free yourself and just step over. If you had known your roots, you would be in tune with nature. What are we doing? It's so true. Life was taught me the very things to do. It was ordained for me and you. You have lost your way, now you don't have a clue. Now them I wonder how we do this, then go with hate and hunger. Future profits, but as them laps get longer, hidden heart it a twist. No friend, no propaganda, cause you can't stand this. The whole of them I wonder how the Rasta man so sleep. Them go with hate and hunger. It's a bit, but as them laps get longer, hidden heart them a twist. No friend, no propaganda, cause you can't stall. Just say no about me, there's and some in the business. How this is for each and everyone. This you have to do, no man about the dancer. And now we are on the crew. We're coming on 2002. They stand against you, hating me. Just can't go to because the people are not free. I remind them so much of who they are supposed to be. I'm a royalty, them lost my identity. Now the whole of them I wonder how we do it. Them who's them come with them hunger. We talk of people as we love get longer. See them heart it a twist. No spread no propaganda.
Yes, and that was Sizzler, Them I Wonder, for the third shot. And our third shot is going to be... Oh, let's go to this one. All right. It's going to be War by Bob Marley. Bob Marley War. That's the next tune I'm playing. And after this, it'll be Kickoff. Team Americas. Yes, man.
Until the philosophy which old one race superior and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned. Everywhere is war. It's a war that until they're no longer first class and second class citizens of any nation, until the color of a man's skin is of no more significance than the color of his eyes. It's a war that until the basic human rights are equally guaranteed to all without regard to race. And it's a war that until that day, the dream of lasting peace, world citizenship, rule of international morality, the remaining but a fleeting illusion to be pursued but never attained. Now everywhere is war, war, and until the ignoble and unhappy regime that hold our brothers in Angola, in Mozambique, until the philosophy which old one race superior and another inferior is finally and permanently discredited and abandoned. Everywhere is war. It's a war that until they're no longer first class and second class citizens of any nation, until the color of a man's skin is of no more significance than the color of his eyes. It's a war that until the basic human rights are equally guaranteed to all without regard to race. And it's a war that until that day, the dream of lasting peace, world citizenship, rule of international morality, the remaining but a fleeting illusion to be pursued but never attained. Now everywhere is war, war, and until the ignoble and unhappy regime that hold our brothers in Angola, is necessary, and we know we shall win as we are confident in the victory of good over evil, good over evil, yeah, good over evil.
Yes, people, and that was War by Bob Marley. I repeat, War by Bob Marley. If you don't know his voice, I don't know what to tell you. But yes, this is Empress Copper Fox, Silent Warriors. Today is Scientia S clavis part 2, and that means knowledge is the key. This is actually part 2. But yes, myself, Lacona Empire, and the presenter, you already know Empress Copper Fox. Don't have to say anything about that. You already know the Empresses. They always come through every Sunday. Yes, for the pepper pot. Yes, man. But yes, you got Radames and we got Professor Hotstep. And yes, big up everybody inside, new subscribers, old subscribers, ID supporters, people in the live chat, people, silent listeners, big up yourself. Manage respect, man. Empress, Copper Fox, take it away.
Yeah, honor and gratitude to my brothers on the panel. To the ones in the chat, the ones on the playback. And I'm going to let some of my brothers go ahead and introduce yourselves. Love y'all.
Peace, shout out to Copper Fox, shout out to the chat. I can see there's quite a few people in there. So peace to the people who know me already. I can see some familiar people in here already, but shout out to the ones who maybe don't know who I am. But it feels good to be on the show today. So yeah, shout out to all of you for making the time to be here. Much respect. And yeah, I think this is going to be good.
All right. So I will bring the tea. What's happening, everybody? For those y'all not familiar with me, Alpha Wolf, also known as Rodimus Prince. You know, we're going to be here. One third of the presenters here, you know, and we're just going to get down to the nitty gritty. Salute to everybody. Ucha, Osio, Oshio, Harito, Nanabaju, Kana Hatnapi, Bozio, Petawashte. Salute to everybody. Peace.
With that said, it's kickoff time. Yeah, bud.
Tata, can Rada get them that one drop for me one time, please? We'll learn today.
Go ahead, Rada.
Yeah, you know, now you know. And if you still don't, you're going to learn today.
Bad. And before we get into it, let's give you a salute. Everybody a salute, as we normally do. Hopefully the hall don't fail me. Right? And don't, when Empress Fox, I don't want you to cuss me like you always cuss me. And that goes to everybody at ICCC. Because they cuss me when they think that I perform properly. They cuss me.
Why are you lying on me, bro? I never do that, Tata. Don't say that. Come on, man.
For those that don't know, you can go watch the playbacks from my platform, Lacona Empire, and this platform, Empress Copper Fox, and just see when the thing get cut out now, coming now perform properly, people are cuss me. But anywho.
What for, bro?
All right, kick off. So wave your flags. Yeah, man. But anyway, what should we get through first? The pictures or the videos? What do you want me to do, Fox?
Which any way you like.
All right, no problem. Why that? Yeah, I have to sleep. I have to sleep everybody, but the official way, give them the hand. Yeah, man. It's the sound of the Indians. That it's the war drum time. Yeah, man. bring your artillery. Yeah, man. But anywho, let's get down to it, shall we? All right. This is from Rada. Let me go to percent so you guys can see. Share my screen. Yes, I. All right, share. Let me know once you guys can see it, or should come through on my phone, on my device. You know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me try zoom in for you lot. So this is the coat of arms that we're seeing, right? And rather, maybe you can explain to the viewers what we're looking at and where it's located, if it's in the Americas or in Europe or anywhere around the world.
Okay, you said that's a screenshot that I sent you?
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Oh man, I don't think that's one of the ones I sent today.
Oh, sorry. I think this either
No,
Fox.
those are mine. Those are mine. Yeah, those are mine.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. sorry. Go ahead, Fox. Please
No, I
explain.
think when you show the video, it will explain a bit more because there's no, not a video, like the write-ins.
All right.
It
Cool.
explains everything. So just go through the images and then you go to the write-ins and then make it full, the screen full, so everyone can see for themselves. You know what I mean?
No problemo. All right. The second image. All right. As you guys can see. Hope that's clear enough for you. For you lot.
That's a make it full screen. Just start again and make them all full screen. Huh? Thank you. Love you.
All right. Make it full. How do I make it full screen? Oh, cause you know I'm gonna use I'm not really using my other laptop, my Mac. I'm using the Dell laptop. But
All
we
right.
can try work with it.
Able to double click on the image.
Oh, okay. Oh, do like this. As you can see. It's a lovely statue. You know. Yeah, man. So I hope you guys can see for yourself what we're looking at. But I'll go ahead and go to the next screen shot. All right. So this is all right. The cross was erected by King Edward I in 1294 AD. Let me know if you guys can see it, or should I split up further so you guys can read it along with myself? So let me know if it's
Yeah,
coming.
you're good, bro. You're good.
Okay, thank you very much, Fox. All right, so the cross was erected by King Edward I in 1294 AD in memory of his first queen, Eleanor of Castile, who died in 1290 AD. It was one of the resting places of the heirs on its process from Harby in Nottinghamshire to Westminster. The cross was the working of Roger de Grandel and Demench de Liga, and the original statues made by Alexandra de Abidan are in the Chestnut Central Library. The shields bear the ancient arms of England, Point Fee and Castle, Point Fee and Castile, Courtrin, Leon. All right, that's that one there. Pick up everybody. Pick up yourself. Pick up everybody in the chat. Let me come out of this and then play the video. All right. Stop search. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. But yeah, images are very powerful images. So people think this is made by Caucasian. It's not. It's by original Europeans and these
Mm-hmm.
type of things. You know, because we know the ones that does the research, extensive research and extended research and in-depth research, we've come across artifacts and paintings depicting the original Europeans and how they looked. We've come across paintings and etc., like I already stated before, of even Moorish people, as some will call them. Even from Spain and these things. We can see how they depicted themselves, and how Europeans depicted themselves. And we can see how Americans depicted themselves by looking at the artifacts, coins, and these type of things, or what people will call relics and these type of things, depicting the original inhabitants of whatever particular place they found these relics in. You know. All right. So the next video. Or Fox, you want to go in? Anyone wants to go in regarding to the things that we just seen on the screen, or shall we keep it moving?
What I want to say is, when we show things like this, is always great for y'all to go ahead and do your own research. You know what I'm saying? So you can cross reference, because these are real images. This ain't no YouTube shit. Know what I mean? So yeah, that's all I got to say. Go ahead, Tata.
Right. Anyone? Well, Fox, not Fox. Copper or Alpha. Do you want to speak on it, or just keep it pushing?
Yeah, I'm happy to keep going for now.
Wicked. No problem now. So all right. So the next thing is going to be. All right. Let's say a word. Hold on. Just bear with me for a few seconds. Let me pull up Rada's thing before we get into it. Yeah, just give me a second, viewers. All right, cool. All right, cool. So this is what we're reading now. It's got it from Radamez, and yeah. So the Olmec civilization. This is a screenshot that Rada sent me. Let me know
Yeah,
if
this is a screenshot connected to a link that I also sent, which we're going to go over a little bit later. But this is basically stating that the Olmec created massive monuments, including colossal stone heads, thrones, stelas, and we'll go through what a stela is in a little bit, the slabs, as well as statues. It also goes on to read to say they may have been the originators of the Mesoamerican ball game, a ceremonial team sport played throughout the region of centuries. And for those of y'all don't know, it looks something similar to maybe what people would call football, soccer, or some form of kickball game. You know what I mean? You see it with a lot of their descendants, the Maya, and those different murals and stuff like that. And as we progress in the live, we'll go further.
so. What I'm going to do now. Thank you, Radamez, for that. I'm going to read it. I don't think I can blare it up, but yeah, I'll just read it, and when the live is done, I'll actually put the. If you guys want that, you can actually contact me on my email address, or contact Fox, and she could send the screenshot to you if you want to look over for yourself. Or I can just, well, I'll ask Ryder to send me the actual link for all the information where you got this from, so you can read the article in its full entirety. But anyway, yeah, we're going to read it anyway. So research at these and other sites has led to the following insights. The Olmec diet initially included foods from fishing and hunting. Maize and other crops were a later addition to their foodstuffs. The Olmec created massive monuments, including colossal stone heads, thrones, upright slabs, and statues. They may have been the originators of the Mesoamerican bull game or bull games, a ceremony team sport played throughout the region for centuries. They also brought earthen mounds and pyramids and ceramics of several types that became common throughout a broad region influenced by the Olmec civilization. The Olmec civilization was one of the most influential ancient civilizations of the early Americas, and though its dominance of the region faded in the last centuries before the Common Era, and that's where we're gonna leave it because I can't read the rest. But anywho, yeah, man. So when I'm done, like I said, I will send you guys the link or ask Fox, and she will send you the thing, or even ask Ryder, and he'll send you the thing directly to you. But yeah, you can also contact me on my email address, and I'll send you the thing. Right? It's laconaempire@gmail.com for those that want information that I've showed before in previous live streams or even this live stream. All right, just give me a link and we can talk. You see me on Gmail. But anywho, let's keep it pushing. All right. Rather dropped off. Okay. So this is from the National Geographic. Decline that shit. Hide that shit. Blow it up. That should be private for you guys. So this is from the National. Where is it? Come on, zoom out. The National Geographic Research Library Encyclopedia entry, the Olmec civilization. Right. So yes, the Olmec civilization, the role of the Olmec in Mesoamerican society is a matter of hot debate between archaeologists and anthropologists. Phase 5 to 8, ancient civilizations, anthropology, archaeology, social studies, storytelling, and world history, or American history, as we know. Image of Olmec head statue. The Olmec colossal heads are the most famous artifacts left behind by the Olmec civilization that we just read. The Olmec people are believed to have occupied a large part of the modern-day southern Mexico. Yes, man. Encyclopedia entry. The Olmec civilization is what is known as an archaeological culture. This means there is a collection of artifacts throughout thought by archaeologists to represent a particular society. What is known about archaeological cultures is based on artifacts rather than texts. In the case of the Olmec, archaeologists think artifacts found primarily on the northern half of the isthmus of the Tehuantepec in Mesoamerica. If I pronounce it wrong, forgive me. From 1200 to 500 CE time frame, represents the Olmec society. The name Olmec was actually invented by the scholars, derived from the Nuetel, or aka Aztec word, or Mectel, which means inhabitant of the rubber country. Olmec is a reference to the rubber production in the area where many of the artworks has been found. There are several Olmec sites thought to be important centers of activity, of which San Lorenzo and La Venta are the most significant. San Lorenzo, about 56 kilometers, 35 miles, south of the Gulf of Mexico, in the modern Mexican state of Veracruz, was at its height around 1150, right, to 900 CE. La Venta, east of San Lorenzo and close to the Gulf Coast, 15 kilometers, 9 miles in the modern Mexican state of Tabasco, reached its height in 900 to 500 CE. And can somebody else read, please? Research. From research, please.
Yeah, I got you. Excuse me, I'm back. Research at these other sites has led to the following insights that the Olmec diet initially included foods from fishing and hunting, maize or maize, as some may enunciate it, which is corn, and other crops were a later addition to their foodstuffs. Olmec created massive monuments, including colossal stone heads, thrones, stelas, which are slabs, and statues. They may have been the originators of the Mesoamerican. Hold on, I think I might be a little further off. Is this where you at on the screen? That's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, you read up to they have been the originators of Mesoamerican ball game,
Okay,
ceremonial team sport played.
okay. The Olmec civilization. Oh, let me finish that. Okay, so a ceremonial team sport played throughout the region of the centuries. They also built earthen mounds and pyramids and ceramics, which is like the pottery and stuff like that, of several types that became common throughout a broad region influenced by the Olmec civilization. The Olmec civilization was one of the most influential ancient civilizations of the early Americas, and though its dominance of the region faded in the last centuries before Common Era, the Olmec civilization is commonly thought to be the mother culture of many cultures that appeared in the region in latter years. These cultures, such as the Maya, Zapotec, Totonac, and the Teotihuacan civilizations, have unique art, architecture, and cultures that separate them from each other. But many historians trace all of these cultures back to their shared Olmec heritage.
Oh,
Mm.
that's it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I ain't wanna like overload it too much. This real short situation, you
Sweet.
know.
Oh, that's no problem, man. Short and sweet, man. Easy does it, But yeah, most people don't know about. Well, most people should know about the Olmecs and what they've, what they managed to invent, all the inventions they created in these things, the great structures and architectural stuff they found here in the Americas that goes back to the Olmecs, the Z people, the She people, right? And these are the founders of the American culture, what we know it to be, even though there's other tribes as well that come from or spring from the Olmec civilization or Olmec tribe. Small little tribes that formed, that broke away from the Olmecs and created their own thing. The bloodline goes back to the Olmecs. So basically, what I'm trying to say is the Olmecs
Hmm.
or other tribes goes back to the Olmecs, right? The other
Uh,
American
I,
names
I,
go
was,
back to the Olmecs. Go ahead, bro.
I was gonna say I also had some information on the Makaya Montreal, but I'm trying to keep it as minimized as possible. I know we ain't trying to go on here super long, but I just wanted to throw that in there, and then another joint in there too. I also have something on the Tiltak of the Anahuac, the culture that we call Olmec culture. You got some of that up in there as well. But for today, I'm just going to stick with that, and then another situation on the links that I shared with you today as well. So we're going to keep it light today.
No problem. All right, I'm going to share another one and then we can run some songs or music. Is that okay, Fox?
Uh-huh.
Wicked. All right, cool. I already got this article up already. All right. All right, cool. Just bear me viewers, trying to get everything sorted out. I'm multitasking. I'm looking at the chat on my phone, making sure everything, is running smoothly for you guys and ladies and gentlemen. So this is exploring www.loveexploring.com galleries. This is from Rada. So the incredible ancient. Let's go blow up a little piece.
Yeah, it pretty much is self-explanatory. They don't have to do too much on it. And just read what's said and just keep pushing.
All right, cool. So incredible ancient ruins in the USA or United States you probably didn't know existed. Remains of the days. Certain places are renowned for archaeology and the remains of ancient civilizations. The United States doesn't tend to be one of them, but perhaps it should be. Is it coming through good for you lot? Just let me know in the chat, please, or let me know in the panel.
I see it good on the panel.
Good, bro.
Okay, thank you very much. The US doesn't tend to be one of them, but perhaps it should be. While city architecture rarely goes back earlier than the 19th century, head of the Baton Path, you can find wall paintings, rock carvings, and impeccable preserved pre-Columbian dwellings. In September 2022, the oldest known man-made structure in North America was discovered in Louisiana. Here's where to find these tucked away windows of the past. Like a hut, man. That's a hut. Yeah, man. A house. You see it? Have the same type of structures throughout the islands and throughout the Americas. The natives, or what they call the Aboriginal people, the Americans, right? There ain't no Siberians. Anywho, Lapakahi, I can't pronounce that. Right? State Historical Park, Rimi, Hawaii. Archaeological sites are rarely more scenic than Lapakai State Historical Park on the island of Hawaii's North Koala Coast. The ancient fishing settlement is set against a backdrop of palm trees and shimmering blue
It's
water.
it's Lapakahi.
Lapakahi.
Mm-hmm.
Lapakahi. Thank you. The ancient fishing settlement is set amongst a backdrop of palm trees and shimmering blue waters and fringed by a striking beach with black and white stones. Okay. Come on. So we love the Americas. Lapikahi State Historical Park, in Hawaii, visitors can follow a series of charts with information panels explaining the significance of structures such as the canoe storage houses, religious shrines, and ancient burial sites. The remains have been partially restored to give a fascinating glimpse into the life of the fishing community. Curry that lived here in the 1300s. That's mad. William Silver Shutterstock. Pauco Culture National Historical Park, New Mexico. Ancestral Puebloans built what was effectively a huge trade center in the heart of New Mexican desert. Cayuco culture is made up of a series of huge stone buildings constructed around 850 AD, and it's believed the hub was used as a ceremonial and administrative center despite the arid landscape and long winters. That's mad. This is Zach Frank Shutterstock.
I just wanted to say shapes like the back of a turtle. My bad.
That's fine. It's fine, man.
Uh-huh.
Cayuco Culture National Historical Park, New Mexico. The park is located around 150 miles, 241 kilometers northwest of Albuquerque. Access via dirt roads. Visitors can take ranger-led tours to view the remains of the impressive multi-story great houses up close and to learn about the spiritual significance of the surrounding mountains and masses. A designated international dark sky park. This is an atmospheric place to view the stars too. It's Galena and Driscoll Falsified Footprint White Sands National Park, New Mexico. The blazingly beautiful White Sands National Park is home to the many fossils and fossilized footprints, including those of mammoths and saber-toothed cats or saber-toothed tigers, dating back up to 30,000 years. Archaeologists made perhaps their most exciting discovery in the late 2020 when they unearthed a set of human footprints around the shore of the ancient Lake Ontario. It is now evaporated. There's a fossilized footprint so you guys can see for yourself. The fossilized footprint, White Sands National Park, New Mexico. Research on the fossilized footprints pictured revealed them to be about 21,000 to 23,000 years of age or years old, meaning they were made here before the park's signature gypsum domes and are the oldest known human footprints in North America, covering around a mile. It's also the longest track of fossil human footprints ever discovered. They belong mostly to children and teenagers, including a child on the tree, and other prints show the people cross paths with mammoths and giant sloths. All right. Cliff Palace, Mesa Verde National Park, Colorado. From a distance, Cliff Palace resembles a sprawling, intricate sand castle city tucked in an alcove beneath the bluffs in Mesa Verde National Park. The ancestral pavilion ruin is believed to have been built between 1190 and 1260 AD. It's also the largest known cliff dwelling in North America. Cliff Palace again. The palace, 150 rooms and kivas, spaces used by pavilions for religious rituals and meetings, are carved out of a sandstone and supported by wooden beams and a mortar. It's incredibly well preserved, and to keep it that way, tours are strictly with the park's rangers and involve climbing ladders and steps. That's a nice mound right there, so you know, man. Ahokee Mounds, Collinsville, Illinois. All right, pick up yourself, man. I know this is your part of town, man. Because he showed me, mounts and stuff when he's driving, when he's doing his work. He's doing his job. What he's doing, he should be in the mountains and these things. But spread across 6 square miles, and with an estimated population of 10,000 to 20,000, Ahokee was once bigger than London, or at least London was, as it was in 1250 AD, which is when the North Americans' first known city reached its peak. The land is dotted with more than 100 earthen mounds, and their origins are shrouded in mystery. Oaky Mounds again. Interpretive center and gallery reveals what is known about the site, located a few miles outside Collinsville and across the Mississippi River from St. Louis. It's thought to have been settled around 600 AD with a series of wood hinges, calendars made with red cedar posts that line up with the rising sun on certain days of the year, built by Ahokee around 1100 AD. This is River House Ruin, Bluff, Utah. Can somebody else read, please? If you mind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, River House. You got it, sis?
You want to go, Rada? You want to go?
Yeah, I'll read a couple. I'm still,
Okay, let me know if you want me to read. All right, 'cause I know you ain't too well. Okay.
appreciate it, sis. I got you. Okay, so we're at you said we're at River House, right? Okay, so the River House Ruin Bluff. This is in Utah. You'll need a forward vehicle or four-wheel drive vehicle or a strong pair of legs to reach River House Ruin, a sandstone cliff dwelling built by ancestral plebeians. Those of y'all who don't know about the Pueblos, between AD 900 and the late 1200s. The nearest town is Bluff, around 12 miles, 19 kilometers away, and it's a 5 mile, 8 kilometer height, hike from the highway, following a path characterized by deep sand and rocks. It's well worth the effort, though. They say it's well worth the effort. You sound like a bunch of pain, but I get it. Okay, okay. Go back up a little bit. Let them see that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You see, it's like ancient depictions of like some
Animals.
livestock grazing, probably rams or some form of antelope, something like that, or deer.
You know what it reminds me of? You know
Uh,
Cocapelli drawings.
yeah, yep, yep.
Because even in the islands, we have stuff like that. People are not familiar. We have the Cocapelli. You know, it's you see it anyway. People that travel to the
Mm-hmm.
islands, you see it. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep, straight up. Fair enough. You know what I'm saying? Ancient culture. You know, people had enough intelligence to understand what they saw and depict it. You know what I mean? Jot it down. They didn't have paper, so they wrote it on the walls. And now people do graffiti till this day. They make
Mm.
murals to this day. So people don't connect that part of the culture to today, then they're losing it. People
That's a
still
fact.
doing the same thing today.
That's a fact, bro. I mean, it's all genetic memory. It's in our DNA
Right,
basically. So nothing's
right,
new under the sun. What we've been doing. So the dance we've been doing, the graffiti, anything we've been doing, right, without foreign influence, that's our culture.
uh-huh,
But we just don't know. Well, some of us don't know. Some of us do know. Those that are, privy to
right.
certain information, we know what going.
True. That's a fact. All
You
right.
know,
Read this next line, continuation of the bluff. Uh, the earliest desert dwelling is made up of a series of well preserved rooms, some arranged over 2 stories, tucked beneath apricot hued cliffs. Those y'all don't know, apricot is a type of fruit. If you look at the cliff, you'll see the type of color it is. A 1 mile, which is 1.6 kilometers, trail follows the base of the structure and allows visitors to peek at hundreds of petroglyphs, including an image of Cocopele,
yep,
a fertility deity and trickster god depicted with a flute and feathered headdress. Again, petroglyphs, it's no different than what people call glyphs. Okay, the petroglyph, graph, etc. They're depictions of everyday life put into a muralistic form, meant to tell a story. Go ahead, bro. Scroll so you can see
I'll leave it there for 3 seconds or 3 minutes so you guys can see.
it. Taking everyday life, see a person on top of livestock, doing some type of farming, see a bunch
Like,
of
right,
everyday images.
even,
Say again?
like this one right here, like he's riding a horse, from what I see,
Yeah,
or animal, some type of animal.
yeah.
Could be a saber-toothed tiger. I mean, I don't know.
Sand Island, Pennsylvania. Still in Utah. Around 30 minutes drive from River House Ruin. You'll also find one of the finest surviving examples of ancestral plebeian wall art. and Bears Ears National Monument. And when y'all do, and when we do pass out the actual joint, matter of fact, if somebody can just drop it in the chat so people can click on the link themselves. You see these little blue areas like that, they're clickable and you get further information on them. But Bears Ears National Monument. This petroglyph painting stretches for 300 feet, about 91 meters, and has rock art spanning more than 2,500 years. Images of fertility deity, Cocopele, and flute playing bighorn sheep are marked onto rock above clear. More recent Ute, however y'all want to say it, and Navajo carvings, several more incredible sites in southern Utah. All right, somebody go ahead and take away. So they get me.
Fox, I could probably like to read. If anyone's there.
No problem. Okay, so 1 minute. Let me just. So this says the Serpent Mound Historical Site, Pebbles, Ohio. Serpent Mound Historical Site in Pebbles is around 70 miles, 113 kilometers east of Cincinnati. Thankfully, there isn't a real snake slithering beneath the grass. This is actually the world's largest serpent effigy, a mound that winds across plateau in the shape of a snake, known as the Great Serpent Mound. It's more than 1,300 feet, 369 meters long, 20 to 25 feet, 6.76 meters wide, and protruding from the grassy ridge by up to 5 feet, 1.5 meter.
For a second, so you guys can see for yourself.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen this clip in so many movies. It's not even funny.
Yeah, man. Historical sites, man. In the Americas.
Mm-hmm.
One as well.
That's deep.
They always had to say this is created by aliens, but no.
Oh,
Sir.
please. What aliens?
The same alien that built the mound, isn't it? That's what they say. But yeah, man.
Also the same ones that made the pyramids down here.
That's some fire info there, Rada.
Gratitude.
Roddy, you want to read us the whole article, or just what do you want
No,
us
we
to
can
do?
we can leave and come back to it later because I don't want to hold up too much of the segment. I know we got more to go.
No problemo. So we're gonna do now.
That's why I was saying if you can just snatch and grab the link and throw it
Chat.
in the chat for the people, yeah, so I can go ahead and look through that too. So if we don't do a part 3, then they still have that,
No problem,
and they
bro.
can cross reference for their research. You know what I'm saying?
Lovely.
And they can pass on to their viewers, and we can get this message out and let people know we wasn't just in mud huts and tents and shit. We had actual situations and civilizations going on pre anybody else. You feel me?
Fox, are you able to put this in the chat? Because I can't do it on my end.
I'm gonna try to.
What I'll do, I'll put it in the back chat, and then you can just put it in the chat. Yeah, I'm do that right now in the private chat. So links in the private chat. All you have to do is copy it and paste it to the live chat for the viewers. But yes, viewers, what we're gonna do now is go for a little break, interval as they call it in the theaters. Yes, man. And yes, we will be back shortly after the 3 shots. You know, so big up everybody. Right. Well, go on. Give me a second, viewers. All right. So this is from Ice Cube and To Be Rich, featuring Crazy Bone. The Ice Cube featuring Crazy Bone and To Be Rich. Remember, we got 3 shots before we get back into the kickoff. Right now, it's half time. Yeah, man.
Get what you don't got, the struggle it don't stop until we drop. Crazy Bone and Ice. The best thing in life is life. Get your mind right, get your grind right. You gotta keep going, gotta keep going. Get your mind right, get your grind right. Get your mind right, get your grind right. Look into my eyes if you wanna know me. Before you hypnotize, homie, what do you see? Yeah, that's just a little bigger than dealers. A hustler count figures, ain't pulled no triggers. Can you dig us? We be the ultimate lick. We's the hitters that make the ultimate hits. Kinda bossy. It's got to be done my way. Do what the I say. Top of the pyramid, homie, what I tell you. If you lead us west side umbrella, you hit the cellar. Bring me my slippers, black robe. Get what you don't got, the struggle it don't stop until we drop. Crazy Bone and Ice. The best thing in life is life. Get your mind right, get your grind right. You gotta keep going, gotta keep going. Get your mind right, get your grind right. Get your mind right, get your grind right. Look into my eyes if you wanna know me. Before you hypnotize, homie, what do you see? Yeah, that's just a little bigger than dealers. A hustler count figures, ain't pulled no triggers. Can you dig us? We be the ultimate lick. We's the hitters that make the ultimate hits. Kinda bossy. It's got to be done my way. Do what the I say. Top of the pyramid, homie, what I tell you. If you lead us west side umbrella, you hit the cellar. Bring me my slippers, black robe, and my clothes, and I can rule the world with my eyes closed. With my eyes. See the lessons to get what we don't got. Until we 50 rich and no time. You better go get it, yo. Nigga, the lessons to get what you don't got. The struggle it don't stop until we drop. Crazy Bone and Ice Cube. See the lessons to get what we don't got. Until we 50 rich and no time. You better go get it, yo. Nigga, the lessons to get what you don't got. The struggle it don't stop until we drop. To all the little homies that's watching TV, I see you trying to be an OG like me, chasing dreams, pulling more schemes for wealth. But the best thing in life is health. Be yourself, player. Television, it'll keep your ass wishing forever. You'll never get your life together. Don't talk about death. I got too much life to live, too many orders to give. What it is, showbiz. Taught you what a is. Showed you what a 6'4" is. Lord knows, in God we trust, and everybody in the world wanna be like us. Everybody see the message to get what we don't got. Until we 50 rich and no time. You better go get it, yo. Nigga, the message to get what you don't got. The struggle it don't stop until we drop. Crazy Bone and Ice Cube. See the message to get what we don't got. Until we 50 rich and no time. You better go get it, yo. Nigga, the message to get what you don't got. The struggle it don't stop until we drop. To the kids of the world that's waiting for wealth, waiting for help, you better do for self. Homie, that's your last cup. Forget about the fast buck. Boy, get your ass up. People use your brain to gang. Do something that ain't never been done. We can spin hunts. Wipe our ass with 20s, with ones. Throw away the guns. Have nothing but fun. And homie, we can do that. Police have a fit when your paper's legit. We got to get off the phone. We got to teach our own. Send your baby to school and she'll come back stop the rain. Go and stop the rain. This to get what we don't got. Until we 50 rich and no time. You better go get it, it's your nigga. The missus to get what you don't got. The study that don't stop until we drop. Crazy Bone and Ice Cube. See the missus to get what we don't got. Until we 50 rich and no time. You better go get it, it's your nigga. The missus to get what you don't got. The study that don't stop until we drop. Keep going. Little homie, why you slowing? Keep rolling. Little homie, why you slowing? Keep rolling. Little homie, why you slowing? Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Hey, young thug, the world is yours. Hey, young thug, the world is yours. Hey, young thug, the world is yours. Yeah, young thug, the world is yours. Hey, young thug, the world is yours. Hey, young thug, the world is yours. Hey, young thug, the world is yours. Yeah, young thug, the world is yours. Hey, 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 young th
Yes, people, that was Ice Cube featuring Ice Cube featuring Crazy Bone and Toby Rich. Rather, I like that song. Very good song, man. Ice Cube got a
Gratitude.
few hits, you know what I mean? So
Gratitude. Gratitude. Had to had to throw that in there, raise the elevation. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Figure
man.
we was gonna play a mix, little bit of island, a little bit of mainland, throw it up in there. You know what I'm
Well, you know, a versatile like that, man. We could play a whole selection, a whole, whole selection of American music
saying?
and
Facts.
just vibe to it because the energy, same energy, man, same beat, same drum, same bass,
Right.
you know. But yeah, the next one we're playing, people, is Crazy Bone. This fight with Gangsta Boo. All right. So once again, Crazy Bone. This fight with Gangsta Boo. All right. That's the next shot. We got one
Light
more.
'em up. Light 'em up. Hit the touch. Light them in here. Light them in here. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Flight 999. Estimated flight time, eternal. Please direct your attention to the television monitors. We will be showing our weed demonstration and would like the next few minutes of your undivided attention. When the seatbelt sign illuminates, unbuckle your seatbelt. There are no emergency exits on this aircraft. Pull your tray tables down, break up a bag, make sure it's League of Legends, and roll up a fat with the line. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for takeoff. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. This flight, you know we take it off. Shaking gravity on and we elevated big heights, big heights, big heights. All aboard, all aboard, all aboard, all aboard. This flight, you know we take it off. Shaking gravity on and we elevated big heights, big heights, big heights. All aboard, all aboard, all aboard, all aboard. This flight, you know we take it off. Shaking gravity on and we elevated big heights, big heights, big heights. All aboard, all aboard, all aboard, all aboard. This flight, you know we take it off. Shaking gravity on and we elevated big heights, big heights, big heights. All aboard, all aboard, all aboard, all aboard. I'm walking through the airport looking real good, smelling like a pound of weed, feeling real good. You know I'm up in first class with my fine ass. Head to Barcelona and I got a stash in my bag. I'm high above the clouds, better believe I ain't looking down. Got my headphones on, high as fuck, super loud. Fuck the flight attendant. I ain't trying to be ratchet, yes please. I want my vodka on ice. Thanks for asking. On this flight, you know we take it up. Shaking gravity on and we elevated big heights, big heights, big heights. All aboard, all aboard, all aboard, all aboard. This flight, you know we take it off. Shaking gravity on and we elevated big heights, big heights, big heights. All aboard, all aboard, all aboard, all aboard. This flight, you know we take it off. Shaking gravity up. Let me elevate to the big heights, big heights, big heights. All aboard, all aboard, all aboard, all aboard. This flight, this flight, this flight. You know we take it off. Shaking gravity up. Let me elevate to the big heights, big heights, big heights. All aboard, all aboard, all aboard, all aboard. We take it up so high we scrape the sky. These leaves that give you wings make you wanna fly. The weed to make you sing, la-de-da-de-da. The feeling is supreme, I ain't gotta lie. Help me think about my problems, hardly not a lot. To help forget I got a lot, I stay highly high. I'm forever high. When I stop, probably not. Until I die, I'ma stay this high. Blaze the fire, blaze the fire. This flight, this flight. You know we take it up. Shaking gravity up. Let me elevate to the big heights, big heights, big heights. All aboard, all aboard, all aboard, all aboard. This flight, this flight, this flight. You know we take it up. Shaking gravity up. Let me elevate to the big heights, big heights, big heights. All aboard, all aboard, all aboard, all aboard. This flight, this flight, this flight. You know we take it off. Shaking gravity up. Let me elevate to the big heights, big heights, big heights. All aboard, all aboard, all aboard, all aboard. This flight, this flight, this flight. You know we take it off. Shaking gravity up. Let me elevate to the big heights, big heights, big heights. All aboard, all aboard, all aboard, all aboard.
This is your Captain Chris Jackson speaking. Due to severe turbulence and heavy trials and tribulations, we will not be flying down. I repeat, we will not be flying down.
Yes, people, and that was Crazy Bone. This flight with Gangster Boo. Yes, man. All aboard, all aboard. Yes, man. The flight attendant. Yes, man. Chief Inca. Yes, man. American Airlines. I like that one. All right, for the last shot, before we get back into it, it's going to be, all right, Jermaine Dupri. Yeah, Jermaine Dupri, Don't Hate on Me. Yeah, right. Blood clot. Yes, man. It's the last shot before we get back into the sugar tigs. And yes, man, viewers, make sure you get your pen and pad and pencil, right? Your ruler, your class in session, but that is a Saturday for copper. But yeah, man. But same thing applies. Make sure you take your notes, take notes and these type of things. But as I said, this is Jermaine Dupri, Don't Hate on Me. Last shot before we get back into things and get the ball swinging, Kick off.
Ain't fucked up that when you work real hard to get some shit and finally make it to the top of shit, then it's a whole gang of motherfuckers that hate that shit and want to take that shit.
Motherfucker, go get you some. Get off my dick and get out my mix. And tell me where the real niggas at. Put your gloves in the air. Y'all niggas get fried to this. Tell me who walked the lover. Tell me who the thug is. Motherfucker, what you niggas really wanna do? Big ball is flossing. They don't want the business, so they gotta be talking. Oh, nigga, you know what they say. I run them in the face when they say, oh, nothing. Buster. Hit them in the shit anyway. That's how we play. Still thugging in the thing. Still the same name to the face. Real niggas, that's all I gotta say. Fucking with the real nigga, I'll get kicked. That's it. Really the real name shit to be fucked with. Protected by the nigga, but the camera, the nigga, that you can figure it. You can get at the whole block, making it close shot, show enough, show stop. Fucking I'm up with the D shot, must cover the shot. Really necessary, cause all we want is a little respect. That's how we move. When you're down, feel me crazy, baby, I'm saying, baby, what you're doing. Little bit of slip to good, but to get back, chat, just like that.
I ain't gonna be the bitch of procrastinating. Niggas wanna be shipping me half a cake, but to whatever drastic measures I have to take, make a motherfucker man debate. The hotter I get, the more hate. Some of you hoes is overrated, slow. harder than the keys for me. I ain't quite easily, but if you spin the cheese for me, nigga, we can fuck free frequently. You study me, but another me can never be so. Roll the most 60644. When niggas don't hold off and hit you with the sound off. Seen plenty motherfuckers fall off with their jaws off. When I finish dropping them all off on the west side of shot, I'm riding high, thinking the ways to make it through the maze of the paper chase slides by. Keep a looking in the chamber, ready for danger when it's time to die.
Nigga, don't you wait on me, why don't you go build it yourself? Don't you wait on me, why don't you go work it yourself? Nigga, don't you wait on me, why don't you go work it yourself? Don't you wait on me, why don't you go work it yourself? Nigga, don't you wait on me, why don't you go work it yourself? Don't you wait on me, why don't you go work it yourself? Don't you wait on me, why don't you go work it yourself? Don't you wait on me, why don't you go work it yourself?
See, everywhere I go, I feel like niggas be trying to get me stuck. I'm fly no matter what, iced up and all the hoes wanna fuck. Not to mention that the nigga got cake stacked up, packed up, everything I touch gold and platinum. What? Haters can't fuck with us, like bus, he's dangerous.
You know that if I peel, I got more. Y'all peel is gone, it's my ice grill on with a wheel on by y'all niggas in the corner back and forth like fuck that little guy. Don't worry about me.
You need to worry about your goddamn self.
How you sit on the shelf and how you sit around wishing that a nigga was sliding so yeah. I'm a ATLANT alien, never been on to play with. Can't none of y'all see me, so y'all niggas don't really need to say shit.
Get all your paper, ain't you bad luck.
What y'all need to do is shut up and take heed to what my niggas saying in the room.
Yes, that was Jermaine Dupri presenting 1472. Don't hate on me. Yes, man. Yes, and we get back into things, the swing of things, kick off. Yes, man. Silent Warriors, Empress Copper Fox. This is Scientia clavis part 2, knowledge is the key. And yes, I am the host, the presenter, right? Lacono Empire, alongside Radamez and Professor Hotstep. And the platform we're streaming from is Empress Copper Fox, and you know who she is. Fire Mama, the First Lady, alongside, you know, when brothers not on the platform, it's the sisters, you know, Silent Warriors and their things. We got all the Silent Warriors, we got ICCC, we got Rada, we got everybody, people in the live chat, new subscribers, old subscribers, you know the code. And yes, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Fox, take it away.
Nah, go ahead, bro. Show us thing.
All right, no problemo. So after that, that's going to be. Give me a second, viewers, while I add some more stuff. I think all right, cool. All right, the bulldozer one. I think I'll cover this. Have I covered this? No, I haven't covered this. All right, cool. Okay, okie dokie. As we present again. Share screen. All right, hide this shit. So this is from cbsnews.com. And we're looking at the bulldozers destroying Mayan pyramid in Belize. I'll blow it up for you guys so you can see it. So you can read along myself and the rest of the brothers and sisters on the platform that read after myself. So this was written in 13th of May 2013. And yes, so the bulldozers destroying Mayan pyramids in Belize. All right, Belize City is a construction company, has essentially destroyed one of the Belize's largest Mayan pyramids with backhoes and bulldozers to extract crushed rock for a road building project. Authorities announced on Monday, head of Belize Institute of Archaeology, Jamie Ari, said the destruction at the normal complex in northern Belize, because Belize is in the Caribbean. If people don't know, it's part of the Caribbean. I think that is over in either Central or South America, one of the two,
Yeah,
you know. But anywho, as we get back onto the swing of things, thank you Rada for that.
no
It was
problem.
Rada. It was Rada, right? You the
Correct.
comment. Okay, thank you. Was detected last week. The ceremonial center dates back at least 2,300 years, and it's the most important site in the northern Belize near the border with Mexico. Look at this shit, bro. It's a feeling of incredible disbelief because of the ignorance and insensitivity. They were using this for road fill, Uri said. It's like being punched in the stomach. It's just so horrendous. The 18th century French chateau mistakenly bulldozed. So Namal sat in the middle of a privately owned sugar cane field and lacked the even stone size frequently seen in reconstructed or better preserved pyramids or mounds. Right? But Uri said the builders could not possibly have mistaken a pyramid mound, which is about 100 feet tall, for a natural hill because the ruins were well known and the landscape there is naturally flat. These guys knew that this was an ancient structure. It is just bloody laziness, Uri said. Right? Photos from the scene show the black holes clawing away at the pyramid's sloping sides, leaving an isolated core of the limestone cobbles at the center, with what appears to be a narrow Mayan chamber dangling above one clawed out section. Just to realize that the ancient Maya acquired all this building material to erect these buildings using nothing more than stone tools and quarried that stone and carried this material on their heads using tump lines, said Uru. To think that today we have modern equipment that you can go and excavate in a quarry anywhere, but that this company would completely disregard that and completely destroy this building. Why can't these people just go and quarry somewhere that has no cultural significance? It's mind-boggling. Our Belizean police, or Belizean Babylon, as we call Babylon, right, said that they are conducting an investigation and criminal charges are possible. The normal complex sits on private land, but Belizean law says that any pre-Hispanic ruins are under government protection, right? Now, can either Copper or Fox or rather please take it away from me, please, where I stopped, if you would like.
You can take it, sis. I'm over here still trying to do my thing. So,
Want me to go?
yeah, sis, please.
Okay, all right. The Belize Community Action.
Wait.
Okay, that's what I'm reading now. Okay, the Belize Community Action Group Citizens Organized for Liberty through Action called the destruction of the archaeological site an obscene example of disrespect for the environment and history. It is not the first time it's happened in Belize. a country of about 350,000 people that is largely covered in jungle and dotted with hundreds of Mayan ruin sites through few as large as Nomus. No, was that normal? Normal? Nomos? Okay. Norman Hammond, an emeritus professor of archaeology at Boston University who worked in Belizean research projects in the 1980s, wrote in an email that bulldozing Mayan mounds for roads fills in an endemic problem in Belize. The whole of the San Estevan Center has gone. Both of the major pyramids at Louisville, either structures at Nomul, many smaller sites, but this sounds like the biggest yet. Okay. It's Arlen Chase, chairman of the Department of Anthropology at the University of Central Florida, said archaeologists are disturbed when such things occur, really. But there is only one very limited infrastructure in Belize that can be applied to cultural heritage management. See this, y'all? What about them, what them places that they keep our artifacts again, Tata? That one in one of them places they burned down again. I can't remember if it was Brazil or Belize. Remember one of
Brazil.
them sites? Was it Brazil?
Yeah. Are you talking
You
regarding
talking
to?
about Lucia woman?
The one that was keeping some of our artifacts and stuff, and they allegedly he caught fire.
I think that's
Yeah,
Brazil.
that was the joint for Lucia woman. When
Was it
mysteriously
Brazil?
caught. Yeah, that should have been the one for Lucia. It
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
mysteriously, supposedly caught fire and burned a lot
Mm,
of the artifacts in there.
wow.
These what these fuckers do.
Always our things, huh? Unfortunately, the destruction of sites. Unfortunately, the destructions of sites. Unfortunately, wow. We always unfortunate, huh? Mysterious ancestors can't be found. People disappearing. No wonder why we believe in Sky Daddy. Unfortunately, the destructions of sites are all too common, but not usually in the center of a large Maya site. Chase wrote. He said there had probably still been much to learn from the sites. Duh. A great deal of archaeology was undertaken at Normal in the 70s and 80s, but it's only sampled a small part of this large center. It's only sampled a small part of this large center. Mm.
Belize.
Belize.
I'll, I'll take it. I'll take it from there. I'll take it from there. Thank you. I just had to have a little, munching break while I read. But thank you for that. Belize isn't the only place where the handiwork of the far-flung and enormously prolific Maya building is being destroyed. The ancient Mayans or Mayas spread across the southeastern Mexico and through Guatemala and Honduras and Belize. Now, Guatemala, Honduras, and Belize is all a part of the Caribbean, which is, Guatemala is like South America, Honduras is like Central, America, and Belize is Central America. If I'm mistaken, please correct me, somebody. Right?
Nah, you on point.
Thank you, brother Radames. So I don't think I am exaggerating if I say that every day a Maya mound is being destroyed for construction. No, is that a coincidence? I think it's not, right? Excuse me. But in one of the countries where the Maya live, wrote Francisco Estradabelli, a professor at Tulane University's anthropology department. Unfortunately, this destruction of our heritage is reversible. It's irreversible, but many don't take it seriously, he added. The only way to stop it is by showing that it's a major crime and people can and will go to jail for it. Yes, and this brings back to, well, when people say this, I mean, I saw a news report on BBC News regarding Iran or Iraq, one of the two places anyway. Don't come in verbatim, but yeah, there was it's a little interlude, off the script, but I just want to add my little 2 cents, right? Where this white Caucasian man went to Iraq or Iran, and he thought it was big and bad because there was ruins which had artifacts there, and he thought, because it's all destroyed in these things, that it's for everybody. They can just pick up and take it and try to smuggle it back to, I think it was England. You know what happened to this clut? He's in prison right now. He's about 60 years of age. And he ain't coming out till he's 90. So you got dead in prison. Yes. And his relatives was crying and bawling. Like, oh, he should be in prison. He thought it was, something. No, that's a national treasure of that country. But these type of things, people should need to be locked up in jail because they destroy our artifacts, destroy our structures, and then they say it was never here. There's no trace of your people regarding artifacts and etc., because these people are destroying our heritage and our culture, what's left behind from our ancestors, to preserve who we are, to show the next generation and further generations to come that we've always been here. But anywho,
These people are grave robbers, tomb raiders, you know what I'm saying, and pirates, and mastering it in the name of scientific interest. They need to get that out of themselves and stay there.
facts. So Robert Rosenwig, an archaeologist at the State University of New York at Albany, described the difficulty and heartbreaking work of trying to salvage information at the nearby site of San Esteban following similar destruction around 2005. Rotted. These people don't play. Fucking pagans. Sorry, Fox, but that has to be said. The bulldozing damage at San Esteban is extensive, and the site is littered with classic period potsherds. He wrote in the academic paper describing the scene. We spent a number of days at the beginning of 2005 season trying to figure out the extent of the damage. After scratching our heads for many days, a bulldozer showed up, and we realized that what appeared to be mounds, when overgrown with chest-high vegetation, are actually recently bulldozed garbage piles. However small the compensation, bulldozing pyramids or mounds is one very brutal way of revealing the inner cause of the structures, which were often built up in periodic stages of construction. The one advantage of this massive destruction to the core site is that the remains of the early domestic activity are now visible on the surface, Rosenwig wrote. That's it. That's where it's done. All right, so we're gonna stop there, and I think that's it for Rada. Copper, you have anything to add on your end, or Fox?
Yeah, I've got some stuff, but I can read that myself. I can read that.
Before we go into that, would anybody like to talk about what we just read?
You want to go ahead, Copper?
Off with their heads.
Let's see. Okay. The first thing that I have, it's from, let's see, the Metropolitan University. No, sorry, the Metropolitan Museum of Art, actually. So the article comes from James Doyle. And this is the Indigenous Arts of the Caribbean. So I thought this might be quite interesting. He did this back in June 2021, just for reference. So what he wrote is, in the centuries before 1492, the Taino peoples of the islands of the Greater Antilles and people from the diverse civilizations of Central and South America exchanged materials and ideas across a rich maritime network around the rim of the Caribbean Sea. Artists throughout the region created spiritually charged sculptures and regalia in green stone and gold for men and women to wear in ceremonial performances. Visual artists played important roles in maintaining their communities through these creations, reinforcing the political power of their patrons and connecting them to grander mythological narratives. Knowledge of Taino rituals and traditions derives primarily from late 15th and 16th century Spanish accounts. Other information comes from archaeologists who have recognized migrations from coastal South America to the islands through the presence of distinct ceramic styles in vessels created by potters for use in ritual acts. Early pottery vessels from the Greater Antilles testified to the creativity of migrants from the mainland who utilized geometric designs. So they're talking about the mainland of South America. Later Taino pottery features modeled figural imagery and abstract motifs. Caribbean peoples understood deities and ancestors to inhabit trees, stones, and other aspects of the landscape. This divine environmental force, known as Semi or Semi to the Tainos, was a central concept in art and ritual. Men and women leaders accessed Semi and mythological knowledge through ceremonies and harnessed this sacred power through the production of sculpture. The process of creating semi-figures was a collaboration between political leaders, ritual practitioners, and master artists. First, he or she perceived a connection with a tree or stone. The spirit within would then demand that the leader summon a ritual specialist who would reveal the Zemi's identity through a ceremony in which the specialist inhaled the vegetal hallucinogen known as cohoba. Taino artists then sculpted the tree or stone into the specific bodily form of the divine power as described by the specialist. The leaders became the caretakers of these Zemi embodiments, which in turn became powerful agents in their communities. Anthropomorphic stands contributed to important rituals, functioning as surfaces on which practitioners activated sacred substances like cohoba. The physical effects of Taino ritual acts are often visible in the Semi itself. It may have widened, watering eyes, a grimacing expression, an emaciated figure due to fasting. One of the most important surviving Taino sculptures is a wooden ritual stand embodying a Zemi that crouches as it bares its teeth and tears stream down from its eyes, which is that picture there. I'll go through all of these once the article's done. So the figure wears a woven cap, ear ornaments, and wrappings on its limbs. The exceptionally well-preserved surface of the wood suggests that original community members revered and protected this Semi for centuries. A similar version of the stand, shaped out of rough sandstone, features a different crouching figure with hollow eyes, which is that one there. Semi-sculptures known as three-pointed stones or trigonalitos had a symbolic connection to yucca, which is also cassava, a staple root crop. I'll go back up, you might be able to see it. See it a little bit. Appearing in various sizes and featuring human-like and animal-like Zemi imagery, they may have served as tangible representations of the mountainous island landscape and may have held some elusive spiritual significance. Taino artists also obtained special variegated or banded stones in raw form, reduced them to a rough shape through percussion, striking with another stone, and then polished them to create almond-shaped ceremonial axes. Axes were vital tools for clearing forests for agriculture, and the blue-green color of these trade objects also referred to water and the fertility of freshly sprouting staple crops such as maize. Artists created pendants and maskettes, known as gizas, in the images of zemis for leaders and ritual specialists to wear in ceremonies. Though reduced in scale, the pendants feature the same zemi imagery as their larger sculptural counterparts, including figures with enlarged eyes, grimacing mouths with bared teeth, and contorted postures. These pendants may have indicated an affiliation with a specific political group. They were also symbolic of spirituality, perhaps acting as talismans to project favorable energies from the wearer. Stone heads with rounded faces were conceived of as a material extension of the inner power of leaders, and they exchanged these objects with one another to promote diplomacy. All around the Caribbean Sea, people came together to build large public plazas that served as the sites for dances, musical performances, and processions that united communities. Luxury regalia worn during rituals in these spaces reinforced the political authority of powerful men and women. Indigenous leaders known as caciques competed against one another for claims over territory and subjects. They also organized trade across land and sea to obtain luxurious materials that formed part of their wealth and were fashioned into important symbols of political power, such as pendants, axes, and woven, beaded, and feathered belts and headdresses. Innovative vessels, such as a marble vase from Honduras with bat-shaped handles, were also valuable exchange goods. You can see it there. Objects with bat or bird-like symbols convey the importance of flying creatures to the identities of leaders or ruling families. For centuries, sculptors throughout the region depicted winged creatures in various precious stones to convey the ritual importance of the power of flight. A metate, grinding stone or stool from Costa Rica features bird-like creatures that may have symbolized a particular lineage or reinforced the political prowess of a single leader, which is that picture there. So the majesty of flight was also a pervasive theme in prestigious gold and greenstone regalia, such as pendants from the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta in Colombia. In such objects created by Tirona gold workers, idealized leaders wear elaborate headdresses featuring fearsome birds to project divine power. You can see it right there. You can see a bird wearing a headdress. Artists in what is now Costa Rica excelled at working imported jadeite, a major feat without metal tools. Avian pendants represent recurrent themes of ritual flight and sacrifice, and military might may have been equated with predation by raptors. Several figural pendants represent the taking of trophy heads, an important display of political power over conquered groups throughout the Caribbean. One example features a long-beaked bird that clutches a small stylized trophy head in its talons. Abstract wing pendants demonstrate a consistent shape across regions, raw materials, and time periods, suggesting that they functioned as transcultural symbols of political power when worn as regalia. From the 20th century to the present, Caribbean artists have often drawn upon the Caribbean landscape and ancestral traditions, both indigenous and those that traveled during the forced mass migration of enslaved peoples, to create an enduring legacy of Afro-Indigenous forms of expression. Wilfredo Lam, for example, was an artist of Afro-Chinese descent who was renowned for using art as what he later declared an act of decolonization. In the 1930s and 1940s, he created his own visual glossary of Afro-Caribbean deities and spirits, fusing them with modes of representation that drew on European Cubism and Surrealism. He referenced West African religions such as Santeria or Lukumi and Vodun or Voodoo that incorporated indigenous Taino practices as they spread throughout the Antilles. Just as the trees and stones of the island spoke to the Taino peoples several centuries prior, the natural ecology and agricultural production of Lamb's birthplace inspired his artistic practice. So what I'll do, I will go back to the top. Okay, so let's see. So I think the first one was a bowl. Yeah, it is. See if they've got anything else. I know they had some other pictures. Okay, so this one was the Zebi Cahoba stand that I told you about. And then basically they were saying some of the facial expressions that you see of these are from after they kind of consumed the Cahoba. So it was kind of like a hallucinogen. So when they would take it, it would alter their state. So their eyes would enlarge, and then you'd get certain facial expressions as a result. And they would literally carve what they see, how they see the person reacting after ingesting it. So that's the reason for how the faces look the way they do. Shall I keep going?
Stop when you wanna.
Okay. So the next one I got is from archaeology.org. And this is a publication of the Archaeological Institute of America. So this is about the Caribbean artifact collection that was returned to Costa Rica. And this article was done on Thursday, July the 8th, 2021. So again, quite recent. So these images that you see here, these are from the National Museum of Costa Rica. Okay, so San Jose, Costa Rica. So La Prensa Latina reports that the Brooklyn Museum has completed the transfer of more than 1,000 artifacts to the National Museum of Costa Rica. The objects, which are thought to have been acquired by American railroad tycoon Minor Keith between 1870 and 1910, include a 260-pound tombstone, a grinding stone or metate, vases, including a large one in the shape of a person, axes, chisels, lances, urns, domestic utensils, and a stone figure of a man whose hands are tied in front of him. The prisoner's face, bearing an expression of sadness or pain, is turned to the side. The collection that's coming in is very diverse, said archaeologist Javier Vallas. There are artifacts from the Central Caribbean, but others come from the South and Northwest that give us valuable scientific aspects to investigate, he added. The artifacts will be verified, cleaned, restored, and catalogued. Costa Rica first enacted legislation to protect its patrimony in 1938. So that article was really short. But again, this was to do with ancient artifacts from Costa Rica being returned from a museum in Brooklyn Museum to be precise. That now takes us to National Geographic. So this one right here, this is hints of mysterious religion discovered in Wales' highest lake. So gold artifacts, precious shells, and evidence of animal sacrifice in Lake Titicaca point to a belief system that helped organize the ancient Tiwanaku state, researchers claim. And this is by Erin Blakemore, and this was published April the 1st, 2019. Sorry, just get rid of that. And okay, so about 1,200 years ago, a reef in the middle of Lake Titicaca in what is now Bolivia became the repository of a people's most valued possessions. In 2013, a sparkling cache of those objects was unearthed by underwater archaeologists. 6 years later, researchers think they now know what the objects represent, evidence of a religion that helped the Tiwanaku state become a dominant force in the region. Results of the excavation were revealed in a paper published today in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Gold objects, metal ornaments, semi-precious stones, and incense burners recovered at the site suggest the reef, located near the island of the Sun, home to multiple Tiwanaku sacred sites, was once used as a ritual site for the ancient state. So this picture here, these are ritual offerings include gold, semi-precious stones, and incense burners adorned with pumas. Anybody that knows the puma is a big cat and it is native to the Americas. Anthropologists are still piecing together details of the religion that helped make the Tiwanaku state, which existed between about 500 AD and 1000 AD, and extended to Chile and Peru at its height, so powerful. The Tiwanaku people didn't leave behind significant traces of military might, and the state is thought to have amassed influence from religion and trade. And though archaeologists have discovered plenty of archaeological evidence of Tiwanaku religious beliefs, they're still piecing together the meanings of the religion and how it may have contributed to the state's expansion. Artifacts found from the site, known as Koa Reef, include 2 gold medallions that represent Tiwanaku's wraith-faced deity, and metal plaques that portray a mythical puma-llama hybrid. Divers also recovered the remains of real animals, including the bones of at least 3 young sacrificed llamas. Another surprising find was 5 items made from spondylus shells and 1 complete shell. The mollusks were important to early Andean cultures but are native to the Pacific Ocean, not Lake Titicaca. The fact that the shells were over 1,200 miles from their nearest habitat indicates both the Tiwanaku people's trading relationships and the shell's great value. Finding so many spondylus was really remarkable, said Jose M. Capriles, an anthropologist and assistant professor of anthropology at Penn State University and one of the paper's authors. Why did the Tiwanaku worshippers leave such valuable objects behind in the high Andes lake? Capriles sees the sacrifices as evidence of a religious tradition in the making, one that helped the Tiwanaku state grow and flourish. By using valuable, desirable materials in rites, Tiwanaku worshippers showed their commitment to their new religious traditions, customs that are huge in terms of building societies, Capriles says. These deities that people are creating are becoming institutions that govern behavior. So in this picture, you've got a spondylus shell, center, was a precious object in the Tiwanaku state, an example of the valuable offerings left in the lake. There it is, this one here, this big one in the middle. The new religion set the groundwork for moral and behavioral norms. If you behave well, you are immortal, says Capriles, but if you're bad, you are going to get punished by the chief's deity. It also meant that people could move from place to place, securing the knowledge that their shared beliefs would keep them from being perceived as outsiders. This, the team posits, helped the Tiwanaku state expand. At its height, the society had amassed significant political influence, economic power, and cultural cachet. But after its collapse around 1000 AD, it was overshadowed by the cultures that came after it. The Tiwanaku is the greatest Native American empire that many Americans have never heard of, says Paul Goldstein, an archaeologist in the Department of Anthropology at UC San Diego, who is also affiliated with the Scripps Center for Marine Archaeology. Goldstein was not involved with the research. Every time we find something that reflects the complexity of the society, it adds to our deeper knowledge of the origins of complex societies worldwide. The Tiwanaku state may feel far away, but for Capriles, its artifacts help bring its people to life. They were grateful, they made offerings, he says. They were just people like you and me. So there's that. I do have another one from National Geographic. I'll make it slightly larger. Yeah. So this one is to do with the first pictures, Peru's rare unlooted royal tomb. So photographs from the discovery of the first unlooted royal tomb discovered from the Wari Empire. The 1,200-year-old tomb is filled with precious artifacts and human sacrifices. Published 5th of November 2017. So this one's a gallery. So if I click here, it should give us some words as well. So you can see some rings, 2 rings on there.
Fire.
So you see, I don't know, Chief Figure, do you remember how we used to wear those? Copper Thoughts might remember this as well. Actually, people in the chat might remember this as well. You know those old school gold coins we used to wear with the medallions in them. I used to have one of those.
Oh, are you talking about the sovereign rings? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. I even used to have one of those as well.
As a child, I did as well. I had the pendant as a child, and the chain and the rings. My parents bought.
And I never had the chain, but I had, as a teenager, I had like one that I used to wear like all the time, literally like just like this. But obviously, it would have been in all gold, like 9 carat.
Yeah, I know what you mean, bro. My younger brother's got a gold sovereign ring.
Yeah.
But this is where they steal our stuff from, you know. The idea or the concept of having a ring, you know, comes from the Americans. Because we was wearing jewelry, chains.
Right. So you remember as well, not just the sovereign. Remember, it was a sovereign ring, but it also used to have another name. It used to also be called a St. George's ring.
Yeah.
Remember? Yeah. That's how I used to remember. They used to refer to, like, if you bought it in a catalog over here, it will be like the formal name. They call it a St. George's ring.
Yes. But also sovereign. Go ahead.
Now I was saying, and there was ones like with specific stones as well, where we used to wear like certain birthstones as guard rings, just to add.
Yeah.
Facts.
All of that stuff.
Even copper, even with the marijuana leaf as a sovereign as well. People remember that.
Yeah. So I was quite happy to see that. I was quite surprised because you just never know what you're going to find, really and truly. Like, I never know what I'm going to find. But yeah, it just reminded me of that. But let's see, the first picture they've got here is these guys here, right? So they're saying Peruvian project co-director Roberto Pimentel, Nita to the left, bioarchaeologist Dr. Wiesler Wachowski, center, and archaeologist Dr. Patricia Praska Gears on the right start digging the first layers of human remains at the main chamber. In the foreground, a massive carved wooden maze protrudes from the chamber, an ancient tomb marker. When the team found it, says University of Warsaw archaeologist Milos Gears, we knew then that we had the main mausoleum. So just as a recap, that's the picture there. We go here. So this picture now, protected from looters by an upper layer consisting of 30 tons of loose stone. The remains of this Wari queen lay exactly where Wari mourners left her some 1,200 years ago. Archaeologist Krzysztof Makowski Hanula, the project's scientific advisor, describes the mausoleum as a pantheon where all the Wari nobles of the region were buried. So like a royal burial ground, if you will. So that's the remains there that they found. So this was remains of a Wari queen. If we keep going. Wari attendants placed most of the dead in a sitting position, then bundled them with precious possessions in cloth woven from llama wool and cotton. But archaeologists found 6 of the bodies lying in an extended position. These may have been human sacrifices or offerings to the gods. So you can see they're wrapping them in materials that are from the land. Llama wool, you know, the llama is native to the Americas, and the Americas had its own species of cotton as well. So here now, you see this picture here. So, as archaeologists dug in one side chamber, they unearthed the remains of a warrior queen and several regal offerings, including a brilliantly painted ceramic flask on the right and an alabaster drinking cup, which you see on the left there. So, you've got your warrior pot here and your alabaster drinking cup over here. Okay, so this image now. With eyes wide open, a painted warrior lord stares out from the side of a 1,200-year-old ceramic flask found with the remains of a warrior queen. Gears and his colleagues think the warrior may have displayed the body of the queen after death in a royal ancestor cult. And they've actually got some of the warrior stuff, not even warrior, but the mochi stuff. They've got some of that in over here actually. You can go and see some of it over here in England. They've got some of their stuff. And then back to this now. The newly discovered tomb contained many rare treasures, including this drinking cup carved from alabaster. It is the only such cup known from ancient Andean sites. So it's one of a kind that they've found. They haven't found any others like it. So you can see these now. Got some beaded objects here. Again, these seem familiar as well, because I'm sure back in the day, like children used to wear stuff like these.
Professor, I'm sorry to interject, but the children have those sweets today. You know, the elastic.
Yeah.
Them with the wear on
Them refresher candy bracelets.
Sweets today, for the children.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. Keep going.
So it's still caked in strings of semi-precious stone beads from the tomb await cleaning and conservation. So I wouldn't even say it's too far of a reach to say that the candy bracelets were inspired by these, you know. So we've got our next image that you see here. So one of the things that amazed and delighted archaeologists was the excellent preservation of wooden artifacts in the imperial tomb. Some 1,200 years ago, a warrior artist carved a supernatural winged being on the handle of this weaver's spoon. So again, we know from past reading today that winged creatures and animals were very big on that. They were very big on flight and enlightenment. But a lot of their wooden things stayed well preserved and didn't decay. Okay, so this next image here, bending to his work inside the burial chamber, archaeologist Milos Gears brushes away sediments from a small cane box. Gears and his colleagues found gold weaving tools tucked inside such boxes. The warrior queens, they now surmise, wove cloth with gold instruments. So that's what that box is there. So that's the cane box. So they're saying inside that box they found tools made from gold that were used for weaving like materials. Okay, so our next picture, Peru's rare unlooted royal tomb. So I think that is the end of the gallery. Okay, and then the last thing that I have here, this is dated February the 17th, 2022, so literally last year. And I doubt most people heard about this. And this was the FBI returned stolen indigenous artifacts to SVG government. So concerning this, on Thursday the 20th of January 2022, representatives from the Federal Bureau of Investigations, the FBI, returned stolen Vincentian artifacts to the Embassy of St. Vincent and the Grenadines in Washington, D.C., USA. So St. Vincent and the Grenadines is in the Caribbean. The artifacts from St. Vincent and the Grenadines are tools believed to be used by the indigenous people. The artifacts were found in a raid which was conducted in 2014 at the home of a 91-year-old missionary, Donald C. Miller, in the state of Indiana. It is not certain how and when Mr. Miller came in possession of these, but it is believed to be from a trip to the country in 1995. The raid revealed tens of thousands of rare cultural artifacts, which the FBI suspected may have been obtained in violation of antiquities laws. Given the quantity, experts anticipate that it could take decades to sort through all of the objects, determine their legality, and figure out where and when they were purchased. Some artifacts have already been repatriated to countries such as Colombia, Canada, Ecuador, New Zealand, Spain, and China. The return of the artifacts was done at the embassy in downtown Washington, D.C., and was received by Minister Counselor, Deputy Permanent Representative, Mr. Amari Seitu Williams, on behalf of the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Provisions are being made for them to be returned to the country. All right. And that's pretty much it from me.
Great. Fire. This is gold.
Epic gold.
Yeah, Fox, I just spoke to Yamati whilst a couple was reading the articles, and he said he's unable to jump on a platform due to, he's in Cairo. People don't know who Yamati is. He's in Egypt, and he just informed me that there's several delays due to diversion because there's floods in certain places. So he's got to take a diversion to get home. And he's supposed to be home like an hour ago, but because of the delays and diversions, he's unable to jump on the platform. So I just said to him, it's no problem, bro. We understand. We can't help those type of things. But if anything, if we finish the live before you're able to come on, we just get you back on another live. So it's not an issue. But yeah, to the guests, Yamasi's not going to be able to make it. But yeah, we can have him on another platform, another live stream that we do, or live stream Emperor's Cup of Fox does. And yeah, you get to hear from him, because I know people don't really hear from him. He's been busy on IG, putting in the work for IG and these type of stuff. But when he doesn't make his presence on a live, it's something to be accounted for, because he's giving you direct source, because he's in Egypt, he's in Africa, so he can tell you, the current situation in Africa, with West Indians that have moved to Africa, and these type of things, how they're being treated over there, and these type of things, and telling you the situation, ground, accounts and these type of things of Americans that migrated or immigrated, whatever you want to say it, that went to Africa to maybe for business reasons, or some of them think they're African and these type of things, and he actually gives oral accounts and does the situation with Americans in Africa and how they're being treated and these type of things. So yeah, just wanted to touch on that with you for the guests and the viewers, and why he's unable to come on. But anywho, Fox, you got anything more to add, or is anybody?
That was fire, bro. Interesting. As I just wanted to say, if we're still here and Yama passed through, it is what it is, you know what I mean? That's our brother, bro. It is what it is. So yeah.
So I don't really have anything to share on my end.
No, we just go to our music break. It's cool.
So, all right, so what we're gonna do, it's a 3-shot deal, Yeah, man. So the first song I'll be playing is by Big Crit, because I'm in a special mood. I'll make a quick selection, quick little playlist of 2 songs of this one, and then we chop it up. And if he comes, he comes. If he doesn't, then it is what it is. But yes, the song we're playing now is Big Crit, Ride Clean. Some of you may know this song, some of you may not know this song. And yes, let's get down to it.
I probably hung on the curb, just scratch the ground when I swing. Got it potholes when I twerk, wrecked some bows in it true. Got a pebble in my brew, in the beat with the bumper, cut screw but when I move, he'll be modulated with a dapper. Now the rhymes know it's that to take a picture that's a shine. You should capture with a flick of flame. I was a trumpet bang. I be cold in the game. Mine. I was real, I shine my light on the real, and motherfucker I come out to show them just how I feel, and fall in love with a chrome lady, and probably have chrome babies, cause we got a real connection, and anything couldn't fade it, close but separated, I know, but the neons around me, so I go, I'm like the best edition, like who really needs an ending, I smile at within the distance, like
Yes, people, that was Big Quit, Ride Clean. All right, so the next song, we got one more after this, then we get back into things. We're going to chop it up and do what we do. All right. All right. All right. What can I play? All right, cool. Bangers. I'm going to be playing. Where is it now? Where the fuck is it? Bomboclad. Give me a second, Viz. I'll find the song I'm looking for. Alright, One Famous Bushman. I don't know what has happened there. Give me 1 second. 1 second first. I don't know what has happened. Hold on. Give me a second. Oh, power cut. Give me 1 second, first, yeah? Give me 1 second. Technical difficulties. If you can hear me, technical difficulties. But we should commence in a minute. Buckland. Yeah, man. Give me 1 second, viewers. I had to relay that from the beginning.
yeah.
original bushman. All when a Benz we are drive and we live on the hill, we are just bushman. Jack gave me planet Earth to jokes man, yes. Plant the food to feed our nation. Produce some herbal medication. Cause Babylon full of infection. Original bushman. Out here in Westmoreland. Big up yeah. Oh, bushman, original bushman. All the Benz we are going on, we live on the hill, we are just bushman. Bushman, original bushman. All the Benz we are driving and we live on the hill, we are just bushman. Jack gave me planet Earth to jokes man, yes. Plant the food to feed our nation. Produce some herbal medication. Cause Babylon full of infection. Original bushman. Out here in Westmoreland. Big up original bushman. Down here in St. Thomas. Bushman. In a hood and in shop. Cultivating food. Farming non-stop. Out there in Africa, oh yeah. Out there in America, oh yeah. Down there in China, to the Caribbean, yeah. Out there in Australia, Europe, Brazil, to Asia, digging up our farmers over the world. Bushman. Original bushman. All the Benz we are going on, we live on the hill, we are just bushman. Bushman. Original bushman. All the Benz we are driving and we live on the hill, we are just bushman. No, when we oh yes, and we say okay, yes, oh yes. I wanna move into the future, still have to get past. Remember our rider with the old donkey cart. Remember the little truck where we used to walk. Remember Uncle Tom with his broken heart. Remember my ganja was when my bill was fire. Remember me machete and my bone rusty iron. Remember the bumblebee when me used to rest. I spring water me drink, you know. Bushman, original bushman. All when a Benz we are drive and we live on the hill, we are just bushman. Bushman, original bushman. All when a Benz we are drive and we live on the hill, we are just bushman. No. I won't give away my girl for nothing else. No.
Yes, people, that was one famous bushman, the original bushman. Yes, man. Look at everybody. For the next song, we're going to be playing. What do I feel like? What do I feel like? All right. All right. Various Amen. What What One Dance Can Do by Beres Hammond.
I can tell you a story about what one dance can do. What one dance can do. One dance can do. One dance can do. And listen that. After one dance on the floor, she came back wanting for more, for more. I don't know what it is that I've got. But she whispered was so nice, so nice. But her man is sitting across the way, and he could hear the things I say. Now he watches from the corner of his eyes. So a move like this would be so unwise. Ooh, ooh, you're standing in my way. Hey, standing in my way. Yeah, yeah. You could see she was more than ready to make the move with me anytime. Not even thinking of the consequences, now. So I had to think quickly. Cause her man's face was looking oh so mean. As if any time he could create a scene. So gently I pushed her away. Ooh, ooh, he wants to spoil the play. He's standing in my way. Yeah. He's standing in my way. Whoa. Now I understand how he feels, but I wish you'd give me a little room. I know he's got himself a raw deal, ooh, but I'd like to live with this lady soon. I didn't mean to be so unkind, but I had more than two. One was looking fine. Big spender he was, had to have his own way. Thought he'd leave, but he stayed. Ooh, still standing in my way. Hey, hey. Standing in my way. Hey, hey. Standing in my way. Ooh, standing in my way. Yeah. Standing in my way. That's what one dance can do. Standing in my way. One dance can do. Still standing in my way. After one dance on the floor, she came back wanting for more.
Yes, people, that was Bears Hammond, What One Dance Can Do. Now, that song takes me back. Now, I'll put in a comment to my childhood days. You know, over here in England, even in the islands, even in the States. When people have their parties, man, it lasts 24 hours. So you go there at 10 o'clock, the party don't start till 1 o'clock, right? And it lasts the whole entire day until sunlight. It continues till like afternoon time, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. People go from the party, go to them bed, wake up, sleep a little piece, wake up and come back to the party. It's like this is not normal anymore. This is not normal. It's not normal, man. People go to them party, eat food, go sleep, and come back straight to the party. Like, yo, it's a touch of class. No drama, just good vibes, good energy, with big people, adults. Like I'm talking about when I'm like 5 or 6 years, 7 age, and you go to your family party, right? Your grandparents, your cousins, and they party the whole entire night to daylight, and still party continues. Like, rotted, me tired, man. We can't take this. Yeah, man, just go upstairs in your family's room, the whole asleep, bro, for good 8 hours, and just hear music blazing, people talking and partying, smoking, doing whatever they're doing, having a good time. Yeah, man, you don't get this type of parties no more. The little house parties and these things. That's one of the things I miss about the elder generation. When you have festivities, it lasts the whole entire night and day. That's one thing I do miss, and that's the elders' presence, man. To sit and reason with them about certain things. Those that still have their ancestors, their relatives right now, that's 80s, 90s, make your time useful. Cause when them gone, man, and you can't ask them certain questions that you would like to ask them. So yeah, make use. Cherish what you have before it gone. Is it? So yeah, man. But yes, it's back into Empress Cup of Fox, Silent Warriors, Scientia S Clavis Part 2. It means knowledge is the key. Yes, I am the presenter, right? Lacona Empire. I'm presenting Empress Cup of Fox, Silent Warriors, the build. Today, my brothers alongside of me, Radamez and Professor Hotstep. And yes, Fox, come in. First Lady.
Yeah, bro. Give thanks. Honor and gratitude to y'all always. Silent listeners and the ones on the playback. You already know. We dropping nothing but pure knowledge. Ain't no YouTube. You know what I mean? Shit today. We give honor and gratitude, but sometimes you just have to come out with real things. You know what I mean? Authentic things for people to see. Like, some people might think it's just all about YouTube. Like in Europe, we do real research. Real research.
That's a fact.
Don't get it twisted.
That's a fact, man. That's a fact. But like Empress Fox said, we do real research around there. Everybody that's promoting the truth and who we are and these things, do in-depth research. No stone unturned or not checked and these things. I wouldn't call us scholars. No, we do reality. Like your grandparents telling you reality. Say, no, man, we're not this, we're not that. This is where we come from. We talk reality, we talk the truth. Is it? All aspects of the truth, even the horrible truth that nobody wants to touch on. And, yeah, man, overlook. We cover everything. So
we even showed, sorry, Tata. We even showed artifacts one time, we showed the original people of Russia, bro. All right, I'm going to drop 1 and 2 knowledge for some of y'all slow coaches. Russia is an illusion. Russia is Canada, okay? That's one. Jamaica has always been connected to Florida. That's 2. Still connected underneath the waters up to this day. If you don't believe me, go get a helicopter and do an overview. That's 2. Let me see what else. YouTube, I beg your pardon, but the Vatican has got all our things in there, layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of departments hidden. Why? What y'all see in the museum? What they call them, the Smithsonian's? An illusion. All an illusion. Everything is in the bottom of the Vatican. Don't believe me? Go check it out. Try get a pass to go there and see what they tell you. Why is that? We're not allowed to see nothing down there. Why is that?
Not for your eyes. I mean,
And real Pirates are the Caribbeans. Don't ever get it twisted. Okay. Yeah, people talking about the moo and the dada. Anyway, yeah, that's for another time. Real Pirates of the Caribbean for the That's why it's called Pirates of the Caribbean. Duh. See what I'm saying?
facts.
Come on, man. Go on, y'all guys want to add anything? I just wanted to make little 1-2, James. That's it.
All
Whatever.
good.
I would just say this. I mean, like you said, there's a lot of stuff that's hidden from us. And this is one of the reasons, Copper informed me that there was artifacts. And I'll say, big ups to Copper for that, because I had no knowledge of it. And he informed me that, there's artifacts in the British Museum that belongs to the Americas. And he come across it because he saw it in I think you said it was a newspaper article, Copper, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was it was literally a free newspaper I picked up one day, and they had one story about how Jamaica had approached Britain to have some of the Arawak artifacts returned to Jamaica, so that they could go back to their rightful home. And that's what kind of led me to find out that the British Museum was holding on to them, and that they were exhibiting other artifacts as well, from the Americas, and that to the point where they've got like stuff from the Mochi civilization in there. They got things from the Pacific in there as well. And funny enough, if you look at the weapons from the Pacific that they've got in there, and you look at the weapons from the Americas, the two are pretty much identical.
Facts. I mean, what I saw, I was amazed. I was like, yo, Copper. I mean, it was a day. Only me and Copper went out, ICCC that went down there. And all of us, they took pictures and video, of the artifacts, and we showed it to the viewers on my platform, Lagona Empire. I don't think Empress Copper Fox did the same. I think it was only myself and maybe Copper on his live as well, from ICCC that put out the artifact, just to show people that they do have artifacts around the world, not only in the States or in the islands, but it's over in Europe. They have a lot of American artifacts, and I was surprised to see what they had, because people from our demographic from the Americas, they go to the museums, but they don't really look in our section in the Americas. They just go straight to Africa, Egypt, and other places, other countries in these things, but never study home. And it's very important for myself and for Copper to see our artifacts and to show people that they still have our things there. They people may not be informed of it, but they have it there. And I was so grateful and I'm thankful for Copper to inform me of this. And I went there. We made it a trip in London, in the London Bridge, the British Museum. We just made a tour of it and just took pictures and put it up on IG. I put up on IG. I put up on my YouTube platform, Table Copper. That's to inform people. These are the things that they hide from us in plain sight, right? So I mean, just looking at the artifact they showed that was on display, shall I say, and looking at Solomon Islands artifacts, and they had pictures of Solomon Islanders, right, and other indigenous people from around the world. It was amazing.
And they had their own section as well. It was they had a part right at the beginning of the museum, and you could go and see the culture of the Solomon Island people and the tools they used, and like photographs of them and stuff like that. And it was interesting. Like they had their own section. Like it wasn't It wasn't like it wasn't it wasn't a part of like, oh well, this is part of the African section. Do you see what I mean? Like they had their own historical section in right at the beginning of the museum, where you could go into that section and see all of their stuff. And there was no, we looked in it. It wasn't that big, that section, but we looked through all of it. There was no mention of these people like being from somewhere else. Do you see what I mean? It's just they were who they were, and they had their culture and traditions. Do you see what I mean? It was like a big difference.
Well, that's one thing I noticed between difference between the Americas and Solomon Islands. Like you said, you just stated it. Solomon Islands had their own section. With the people from the Americas or with the Americas collection, it's all jumbled up. It's not like a section dedicated. Okay, this is America's section. We can see, all the artifacts in one entirety, in one space. No, it's all jumbled up. So you go through, and if you haven't got a keen eye, you miss it. You miss certain things, because it's like to have English artifacts here, didn't have Mexican artifacts here, didn't have Jamaican artifacts here, didn't have next artifacts beside the Jamaican artifacts, right? That's not even from the Americas, but it's all jumbled up. That's what I saw. That's what I witnessed. Copper can testify what I'm saying, to be truth or not truth. But yeah, it was a great day, and like I said, I do thank Copper, and that's what we do. We went there, informed the viewers that watched the live stream or watched Copper's live stream, or what I was on IG when I was able to upload them and show people, yeah, this is what they have of our collection, and it was crazy to me, because even that, yeah, you see it in the museum, and then you go online, you go on eBay and these things, and they got private collections, but even people selling auctions of American artifacts, you could find on eBay people selling artifacts, indigenous artifacts, like article Copper read, or what Radamas brought up regarding the Mayan civilizations in Belize. I think it was Copper who brought that up, if I'm not mistaken, how they were dismantling or destroying the mounds and these things. And yeah, the people go there and take the artifacts up and put it in a private home and sell them, but they're not supposed to be doing, which is illegal, because you're actually taking the indigenous artifact that belongs to the people of that particular country, continent, for example, and you're taking it into your own. No, you're stealing from us. You understand? But yeah, it's just crazy how most people are not aware what's going on with our heritage. This is why it's very important for us that has the information, has the knowledge, and that's talking the truth and presenting the truth. That's to remind people, listen, man, we've been lied to about many things, even with your own artifacts and your own culture. They destroy these things, so you have no knowledge of it. So they say, oh, your people have never done nothing in the Americas. Yeah, you're the slaves, man. You've got no artifacts preserved. All these things that are supposed to be preserved and cherished amongst the indigenous people, they take these things or destroy these things. So when the next generation come up, or our generation, or this current generation, or the previous generation, just look for their things, they cannot find it. And it's what gives foreigners amnesty. Oh, yeah, people never did nothing. He just was slaves from Africa. I mean, that's not the case. That's not the truth. You understand? So, yes. But yeah, man, it's been a great live. I've enjoyed every second of it. I hope the viewers enjoyed the live. There's so much information out there, man, regarding American history. You could find books on the archives and the PDFs that I presented. Copper presented this. Empress Fox presented so much. Radamas does it. Rurap does it. Empress Hobart does it. All the indigenous people talking about who they are and actually trying to preserve the heritage and their culture has been presenting information about who we are. And it's very important for us to do that, to do this,
And what about underwater artifacts and all that?
Oh yeah. I mean,
What I'm saying, that they've been trying to get for eons.
They're there, but because nobody's really uh, archaeologists in the Americas that are so-called melanated or what people call black today, nobody's really doing the deep sea diving because, like you stated, you said underwater artifacts. The artifacts are underwater, right? Gold coins. I find gold coins. Big up Darmanex. He showed me some artifacts and these things underwater in the islands. Like a comb and little trinkets, not trinkets, but like hair accessories and these things that's underwater. That's underwater, gold coins and all these things, and pyramids and mountains underwater, like Cuban one, right? And many other places in the Americas of underwater.
That's why they create the great illusion of the Bermuda Triangle to scare you not to go there. Why not? But they always want to go these places that they tell us don't go. Make it make sense.
That's true. That's very true. I mean, they say not to go to Antarctica, but they go to Antarctica. I
Right,
mean,
that's what I'm saying.
the whole hemisphere of the eastern world goes to Antarctica, but the original inhabitants can't go from the Americas. I find that very interesting and very strange. How comes we, the descendants of the original inhabitants, can't go to Antarctica, but foreigners can? They live
And
over
they
there.
also say the same thing about the Pacific. But
Right.
a lot of people backpack to the Pacific or go there on cruises. You can get a cruise liner there as well. I know some people from the Americas have been to the Pacific, and they were mind blown, like how similar the people were to them in appearance and in customs and stuff like that.
We're the same everywhere, man. You ain't gonna see nothing different. Everywhere you go, you're gonna see us. And you
But
got
it's like,
next.
like specifically, like people will go to places where I say they've been trained to go to.
I agree.
Like
Facts.
they'll go to places where they've been psychologically trained to go to because of their belief in what the historical context is of what they've learned. Like they won't go to somewhere that they haven't learned about, and usually it'll be because they've been taught to fear it, or they've just never been taught about it, so they don't really pay it much attention. They know it's on a globe, on a map, but they don't really know anything else, so they don't really feel like there's any need for them to really go to those type of places. So that's why I say people go to places what they're trained to go to. Like if they keep watching enough movies, they keep studying enough classes about a certain place, that's where they go because that's all they've been told about. So they feel like it's their job to go to these places and like build a connection with these places. Like a lot of times I don't think I think what's happened is people think they have a connection to these places, but I think it's mostly you've been taught to have a connection to these places. And it's not that you actually have one with the places, but it's rather you were trained to have a connection to these places. Because I guarantee if you weren't taught to, I don't know, to focus on these places, then the connection would probably never naturally occur. Like you just wouldn't feel any need to, like you just wouldn't be inclined to do so.
I agree.
So it's
Right.
more like a programming, professor. We've just been programmed to go certain places.
Yeah, it's like it's I don't think it's any different to
And then they also cause fear of certain places they don't want us to go.
yeah. Yeah, that's what, and that's what I find. I find that yeah, a lot of people are there's certain places they're scared to go to, and they'll tell you that you shouldn't go there because it's not safe, or you know you don't know about the people there. But I mean, there's people living in dangerous places where they're at right now. Do you see what I mean? And they'll never leave that area or that place.
Mm-hmm.
You
And
know?
they kill you with them imaginary borders.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. This is another thing as well. But I think people would I don't know, I think people would be quite amazed about the world if they were to travel around it and every corner of it, and go to different places and actually interact with different types of people. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing to go to other places, other continents, and um, test some things out, man. Because you might think that your narrative or your story that you learned like in school, everybody knows that story or believes in it. But you know what? If you were to go to a lot of places around the world in different continents and places, they've probably never heard any of that stuff before in their life, and you'd be shocked.
I agree.
Yeah,
And
self
you probably learn things from them that you didn't even think was possible. Do you see what I mean?
facts. Self
I agree.
experience is the greatest knowledge, y'all. Ain't
Like
nobody.
I've had this happen. Like I remember I worked with a Polish girl. Like I got on well with her. She worked in my office in one of my old jobs, um, and then she was quite curious that like people from Jamaica like mostly have like Scottish surnames and stuff like that, and like she was curious to know like why, because like she didn't know anything about Kunta Kinte or any of this stuff. Like they don't you know, they don't know any of this stuff in Poland. So it was like it was fascinating to her that Jamaican people would have these different types of surnames. Do you see what I mean? So
Mhm.
this is why I say to people like just don't take for granted that your history is the history of the world, because all it takes is for you to meet someone else from a different culture somewhere else, and it turns everything on its head. And then
Yep.
it makes you think like, well, if this person's never heard of this stuff, how many other people have never heard of this stuff before? And how comes only a certain group of people have heard this stuff before? It just, after a while, I don't know, if you're the right way inclined, it will make you start having to think and reconsider a lot of things.
I agree. I agree. I mean, this is why I tell people to speak to indigenous people around the world. I mean, the best experiences, like you said, Copper and Empress Copper Fox, you know, is traveling. If you travel, those that can travel, travel. It's always good to travel because the Americans are known for traveling around the world.
100%.
So if we don't travel and don't speak to indigenous people and have a reasoning, a conversation with them, just based on, it could be basic stuff, it could be in-depth stuff, history and these things, or their history, their oral accounts and your oral accounts, it make you start questioning things. So I spoke to a lot of people, from around the world, even here in England or even on the internet, you know, maybe private rooms or public rooms, right, which is controlled, where they can speak freely and not be bashed and XYZ. But I mean, you find out a lot of information just by having a common conversation. It could be even at work, like Copper stated, and people ask you certain questions about your culture, and you maybe ask them certain questions about their culture, and they will tell you. I mean, it does justice for people to travel and see places for themselves. See, okay, what's Australian culture? And I want to go Australia. I would like to go Australia. I like to sit and talk to Aboriginal Australians and just talk to them about their history, about their culture, X, Y, and Z, and to exchange information. And I think everybody should have the opportunity. If you have the opportunity to travel, make use of it. Make use of it.
Yeah.
Facts.
So
It's
keep
what
going.
creates true knowledge, man. And no one can tell you nothing different when you go and experience for self. That's why I say self experience is key, man. That's one of the greatest knowledge you'll ever have for self. You know what I'm saying? And nobody can tell you nothing different from that.
Facts. Facts. I mean, I've been to places in Europe, places back home, in the Americas and these things. And when I sit and talk to people, people want to know, like, you're from England, okay, but we know you're not English person. You have features that favor Americans. For those who do know, some may not know. They're like, oh, where are you from? Your accent, you sound English. So no, I'm not English. I'm only born there, but I'm descended from the islands, from the Americas. That's one, two things. Tell them one, two things. Oh, similar. Oh, I didn't know you had to eat cool. I didn't know you eat this and that and rare, or callaloo, or grits and these type of things. Or you exchange things. This is why I like talking to people. I'm a people's person. I've always been like that as a child to now as a big man. So, you know, once you know how to approach people and talk to people with respect and manners, you get the same thing in return, right? So it's always key to travel, man. If you got your passport, if you ain't got a passport, get a passport. And travel and see the world through your own eyes. You learn so much,
Yeah,
so
we
much that the internet's not going to teach you. There's certain things you can't get taught on the internet. You have to go to these places and go to speak to people for yourself.
facts. We've always been great explorers, and I mean, always going on expeditions and shit. So, and then another thing is that's why some of our people are so frustrated and depressed because we're restricted from moving freely. And I'm saying it's something that we're naturally not used to at all. Just look at the way the children operate. They'll never stay still for a minute because it's not in our genetics for us to stay in one place. Even when we're sick, we're trying to fight it to keep going. You see that in the babies, they be sick and they're still fighting to keep going because it's just not in our genetics to stay in one place. We get bored very, no, not in bored, but we just want to explore. We like seeing things, like new things all the time. You know what I mean? It's knowledge. You know what I mean? It develops, it comes together, it adds up. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes, man. I mean, there's no like when you start travel the world and speak to people, you learn so much just from having a conversation with somebody. It's like I have learned so much just having a simple conversation. Maybe it could be with Africans, it could be with Chinese, it could be with Asians as a collective. It could be not Australians if I run into them. It could be Americans, from the States. Have simple conversations, and I plant a seed because some people may not have the information. I was like, "What are you American Indians?" Like, What? Yeah, I'm American Indian. Didn't you know that? Oh, okay. Joke the memory. Okay, that guy said something. Let me go and research. You know, like even when I spoke to a Chinese, not Chinese person, a Hindustani person, like, yeah, we're Asians. I didn't know that before I spoke to this person. I just assumed they were Indians because that's what I was taught. But when you speak to them on a one-to-one basis, they say, yeah, I'm Asian. We're not Indians. We refer
And
to
some of them
ourselves.
will tell you that their land used to be one. It used to be one with Pakistan. It all used to be one thing.
Yes. Before they got
Facts.
separated and they got tribal.
Yeah. Because I got a friend from Pakistan, and his grandmother still was alive when that country was still one place.
Yeah. No.
So I learned that from him. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly. And
Yeah,
this
I
is why
learned that from him.
no, that's why it's good to talk to people that have knowledge of self. But you can always pick up people's energy. You know, just having a conversation like, yeah, I don't want to chat to this person. This person don't know nothing, or this person knows something. Let me talk to this person. Or people just come and talk to you, approach you, because all the information I got from people from Americas, or even living outside of the Americas, and saying, yeah, I'm Cherokee, I'm this and that. I'm like, raw. Weird places, weird places. I shared my stories with people on my platform. Um, the random place I meet people in it that we talk, have a conversation. Could be 5, 10 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, having a long ass conversation. But you know, us just sharing information. It's a wonderful thing. So people just do travel, man. I do recommend people to travel, see the world for yourself. Not pun internet, not pun YouTube, not pun social media. See the world for yourself. You get a feel for the world. You get a feel for how people are in that particular geographical location. You get to understand their culture, understand how they are as a people, and these type of things. So it's always good. It's always good.
Mm.
Yeah, but fucks. What you want to do now? What?
I
I
don't
don't think.
know. Rada, you got anything to say, bro? You want to add anything? I know he's not well.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, he said he was suffering from a migraine, so you know. But if not, we can make a close. If you're happy to go ahead with that, I'm Copper. You got
Yeah,
anything to say?
yeah. Peace to everyone. I will probably do a snippet of this and then upload that because I want people to go to the main video, which is on this channel. But what I'll do is, if I get a chance to edit this, and then I'll do a preview I'll add the links that I used in the preview and a link to the full video as well, and then I'll probably run it like that. But other than that, that's last bits from me. So shout out to everybody that came and listened and supported, and then I'm sure we'll do this again for another topic or whatever else at some point in the future. So peace to everyone.
Yep, honor and gratitude to my brothers on the panel. As usual, come on, giving us their strength, sharing knowledge, and just great vibes. Honor and gratitude to the chat once more for being here with us, the ones in the playback and the silent listeners. Until then, Fox is out. Peace.
All right, people. You know the code. 3 songs before we make a move. But it's been a pleasure. It's always a wonderful time to be with ICCC on a live stream and just present information, just even doing a live stream. So I'm always grateful for that, for the viewers and the people in the chat, silent listeners, new subscribers, old subscribers, IG supporters, coming on, whether it's myself or anybody in ICCC doing a live stream, showing their support, and it's always a pleasure. But yes, as we make a move now, as we say, 3 songs to we make a move. So the first song we're playing is Topper Things by Capleton, and then 2 other songs, and then we're making a move. All right. All right, cool. Give me a second, viewers. All right, Topper Things by Capleton. See my phone, I'm done.
Yeah. Alright, man, what done that before? Yeah? Let my balance sleep tonight. Man, I shape on top of things, other things. These things that I see me crush them like bricks. Man, I stay on top of things, other things. This is what you want to bust them like a chick. Man, I shape on top of things, other things. This fuckers here with them mute them lick. Man, I stay on top of things, other things. These things that I see what you just bring coming out and shape up. You like me, riding my fight with me. You like me, tuning up our bike with me. You like me, chewing I you like me, you are my shop. When it touch them, even if we bust them. When it touch them, feel fine, not touch them. When it touch them, we'll be a man and suck them. In farm, I can say, I bust them. When it touch them, even if we bust them. When it touch them, feel fine, not touch them. When it touch them, we'll be a man and suck them. When it touch them, man, I stay on top of things, other things. These things that I see me crush them like bricks. Man, I stay on top of things, other things. This is what you want to bust them like a chick. Man, I stay on top of things, other things. This fuckers here with them mute them lick. Man, I stay on top of things, other things. These things that I see what you just bring coming out and chase up. They don't like what you me do the big tune for them. They don't like what you we have on no corruption. They don't like what you me come from Islington. They don't like it, yo, I am shot. They don't like what you me have on no Vatican. They don't like what you me tell the youth them to strong. They don't like what you me I speak out for Sudan. They don't like. Alright, they don't like what you me tell the youth them to real down. They don't like what you me say Selassie must be seen. They don't like what you me tell the youth of them shield. When me have a body buckle me down and I shape on top of things. These things Selassie me crush them like bricks. And I stay on top of things, other things. This is what the world must have been like chick. And I shape on top of things, other things. These fuckers can't be them lose them links. And I stay on top of things, other things. This is judgment of a man here. That's a you don't know. not trust them, even if you bust them. Not trust them, stay far, not touch them. Not trust them, will be a man and sub them. Not trust them, not trust them, not trust them, even if you bust them. Not trust them, stay far, not touch them. Not trust them, will be a man and sub them. Them are informer, they said, and not stay on top of things, other things. These things that I say, they crush them like bricks, and not stay on top of things, other things. This is what do it, the most of it like a chip, and not stay on top of things, other things. This focus here with them lose them legs, and not stay on top of things.
Yes, people, that was Caperton Tapa Things. Once again, Caperton Tapa Things, and for the second shot. All right. By Jacure, them the Bill Great, man. Let's give me a second while the song load up.
Change just one thing, what would it be? Well, change the system. Me see myself on this journey through prison as just a part of my mission. Because I come see it this one way. Me come up with one of them, not gonna why need ya?
No, oh yeah, them not build great man, them only kill great man. Babylon be still a no underrated man. Some of us Satan no work with option. You let them work, yeah. Them not build great man, them only kill great man. Babylon be still a no underrated man. Some of us Satan no work with option. You let them work, yeah. But Molly beat that church, you man, then free I turn a song. Need to get you Papa Richie, yeah. Can't let you get you down in iniquity. Country and down in a pretty. Mankind will take your crown for them living city. I look keep things so rasta and licky. I'm like, yeah, you can swing and trick me, yeah. Oh, yeah. Them not feel dead man, them only kill dead man. Babylon be still a no underrated man. Some of us say that no work keep up run. Can't let them work out. Them not feel great man, them only kill dead man. Babylon be still a no underrated man. Some of us say that same so them time. All of them are one more. The boy use them pills and get that one rise. And we Babylon a go rise. No side, a Papa John and children cry. I pray for equal rights and justice for my people every day. Forbidden fruit in the garden, forbidden fruit in the garden. Them killed Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. A same thing them bring up on Rodney King. Millions vex, still I couldn't do the thing. In Celestia, we see, yeah. Some are fling fireballs, some are flashlighting. King Celestia, the king, yeah. Them can't break me choice of the love within. Celestia, taking the scene, yeah. World I pray for the love within. Rastafari is everything, yeah. To the powers of the world speaking. Them can't do the rest of what I think. Them not feel great man, them only kill great man. Babylon be still and a right man. Some of my sick and my work be broken. Yeah, them all broken. Them not feel great man, them only kill great man. Babylon be still and a right man. Some of my Satan work be broken. Now let them all broken. Grace is great. Should not be underrated, grace is great. Should be appreciated. Sing your praise of greatness, try your best to endorse it. Don't play bad mind and force it. Working them tricks, begging water in a basket. King Selassie, I'll be honest. By your roots and your culture, then you're the last this. Rasta come for your justice, yeah. deal with. When them sister regret them, I try and to kill me. But still I'm surviving. Just you stay alive in your. Them not feel great, man. Them only feel great, man. Babylon this thing, I know I'm not right, man.
Yes, people, that was Jacure featuring Phantom Mojo. Them not Bill Great, man. The only Cure Great, man. Yes, man. And the last song before we close. Rainstorm, pick up yourself, bro. Alright. Give me a second. Alright, let me just find something, man. Richie Spice, Brown Skin. Yeah, man.
Woman, I love the vibes, I love the spice, I love the passion you bring. The way you smile, the way you attire, the way you do in every way you make my day. You know I want you for I see in your eyes that it's me, it's only me. Can love you so, baby. Hot like a fire, fire of desire. She put you like a fire.
Yes, people, that was Richie Spice, Brown Skin. Once again, Richie Spice, Brown Skin. That's a classic, right? And yes, it's that time again, people. And it's always been a pleasure to be alongside Empress Copper Fox, the Silent Warriors, alongside ICCC, alongside special guests. Yes, man. Until the next time. All right. We out. Peace.